Right. Can somebody in the chat just...
Oh, I
Ours
hear
is
it.
working with you. Ours is
Okay.
working with you.
Point of order. Order. Order.
Right. Can somebody in the chat just...
Is that
Okay,
it?
I hear it.
Hello.
Yep.
That's why I came early.
The sounds are on now.
Correct. No, desktop is fine. Yeah. That's what you want. Whatever's going to your ears, that's what you want. Uh-oh.
Really? Oh. They're saying they can hear us though? Yeah. Mikey, I heard something interesting today.
What did you hear interesting today?
Did they approve a $1.2 billion detention center in the desert in Texas?
Of course.
Yeah.
Because it's not like they need that money for, I don't know, floodplains. Floodplains.
Yeah.
Can somebody in the chat tell me whether they can hear me?
I think Ollie's got it going up.
Oh, well, the thing is, his chat's 30 seconds behind, so we won't know for a few seconds, right?
Yeah,
so
it is running on slow, so
yeah.
And I'm also getting a terrible echo in my ear.
Oh, yeah, no, that's no good.
That can't be
That's
right.
so annoying.
Actually, yeah. Can you just right-click on the window and mute the window that you're playing the stream in? Is that where you're getting the echo from?
I'm going to let you two talk.
Okay. But over in the chat over here, if you guys want to hang out over at the bin side for now. Oh, they can't hear me anyway, but maybe the subtitles? I don't know. I don't know how that works. Hello, Russell. Hello, Kay and Bruno and L and Greg. Dark Lord Greg is with us. Tell him to get over here. We can hear Mike fine. Well, that's the thing. They can't hear us tell them that. Only problem with the plan.
Graham has told me that I've got monitor sound on. I've just turned it off. I turned it off before Graham told me that. So,
Yeah, Graham.
Well,
thanks, Graham, for coming in with that late news. That was useful.
Yeah, thanks. This is Graham's fault.
I'm going to blame Graham entirely.
All Graham's fault.
I thought I was doing all right. I did. I've done 3 of Graham's morning shows, and they've got progressively easier. I mean, you guys, Mikey, you do this a lot.
Yes.
This morning I was in awe of what Graham does every day, and I know that sometimes he, can leave it till just 10 minutes before a show, basically for his prep. But I still find it quite an overpowering amount of technology that I'm trying to deal with at the same time as think about what I'm going to say and check that cameras are working and stuff like that. So it's really impressive what you guys do.
It's not so bad. It's the setup. The setup is the bad part, right? Like getting everything to work the way you want it to work, so you can just come in with a cup of coffee, type in a couple of things, and you're good to go. That takes like 2 weeks to set up, and for it to work that way. But before then, you're just kind of like, "Come on, work, please, please, please." Oh no, it didn't work.
You tend to
nope. This isn't working.
you think you've got everything set up, and then you just go, okay, that didn't work.
And as soon as you think you got it, that's when you know you've made a mistake.
Exactly.
Like if you think your show is going to go well, then you are in the you have counted wrong somewhere.
There's definitely something up. Yeah.
Yep, something's definitely forgotten if you're that cocky about it. But I think at this point, I'm at least several thousand streams in that I've done. So
you've got a muscle memory for this now. I
guess.
Yeah, I reckon if I did this every day, eventually I'd be able to turn my microphone on when I start a stream. But
I have a crease,
my
and a groove
ambition.
in my. I have a OBS groove in my brain for all the all the stuff.
I'm just going to recognise people in the chat. There is a certain Graham Hughes Travels in the chat who's been advising me all the way through. I've been saying this every morning, Mikey, right? He's taken some time off, right? It's important that he gets a rest and takes some time off, and I've stepped in to try and keep his channel alive for the last few days. But he's always in the chat monitoring me, like the kind of boss, you know, that... I'm going away on holiday, and don't worry about the security cameras that I've put in your office. Don't worry about that. It's not a problem.
Big brothering you.
Hey, I'm not going to keep an eye on you. I'm just going to leave this teddy bear in the corner.
Yeah, it's for your protection.
I just listened to the stream for a minute. It all sounds good now, by the way.
Okay.
Thanks, Ollie.
Thank you, Ollie.
Yeah.
The chat seems to be saying that as well. So we will go back to the beginning, guys, because we've now got audio. So welcome all of you to the chat. Except the big bad boss, Graham, who's just monitoring us to make sure that we say, please make sure that you...
All hail, Graham.
All hail the great Graham. Oh, we have to do the sponsor segment. There's his book, just in case.
Yeah.
This edition of the Friday Night Social is sponsored by Man of the World by Graham Hughes, who is actually travelling the world at the moment. We're not allowed to disclose his location, because he's being tracked by MI6. But, he is
someplace east of west.
Out and about somewhere.
And north of south.
And in the chat, we've got Trip, we've got Ellie Chaos. Ellie Chaos keeps trying to tell me something about 2.5 mics, and I don't know what she's referring to there. We've got Pete's
Am I
Music.
half a mic? Is that what she's trying to say? I'm half a mic?
Damn. I don't know if that's a compliment or a diss.
I don't know.
I
feel like 2 mics myself with the size of me. Come on now.
It's the other thing I found all week doing the morning show as well, Morning Brew, is that you keep remembering to go and look at the chat. But obviously everybody's chatting to each other, and you just join a conversation halfway through with no context, read it out and go, okay, I have no idea what that means. I have no idea what's being said. Shall I just go quiet for 2 minutes and try and read back and get context?
The chat is a bunch of sociopaths. I would never read what they have to say.
That's very unfair.
No, we don't want to hear. We don't want to talk to them.
No, they're mean. They're mean. All they do is make fun of me every time. They're like, "I remember when Maggie was so stupid." I'm like, "Yes, I remember every day."
That's not true of the chat. That's Twitter you're thinking about.
Yeah.
You know what?
Yeah. Okay.
You're right.
I joined in almost Supertansky's posts this week, which was about the subject of this video. She just happened to say something about Jeremy Corbyn's new party, and that's Scott.
Oh,
how are you?
Scott.
Hello, Scott.
Scott demonstrating that he has air conditioning and can sustain an ice cream in this weather.
Ice cream.
Yeah.
He has frozen novelties.
I had frozen novelty earlier.
How are you, Scott? How's your week been?
Oh,
Hi, Scott.
It's been all right. I haven't done much. Just been working, going to the gym, all that good shit.
Gym life.
Yeah, and yeah.
Well, we've been. You joined us just as we resolved the technical problems, Scott, which meant that nobody could hear what I was saying. Mikey was in charge, and Ollie was doing our technical support, and then. Yeah, it's really entertaining. And
you online?
One angry. Who knows whether we're online?
So it's a philosophical question.
I have no idea.
I'll have a look.
It's possible.
Yeah, no, we're online. We check. Yeah.
People in the chat seem to be referring to what we're doing, so I'm taking that as a sign that
helps.
we might be online.
It could be trolling.
Can I just thank One Angry Pagan for the first super chat? £2 from One Angry Pagan. Frigs, love and blessings this fine Frigs Day. Badger.
Okay, what the frig does that mean?
Well, Friday means Frigs Day.
Frigs Day.
It's a
Frig
Norse,
is a goddess.
Yes.
It's one of the few names of the week.
Goddesses, do I?
Most of the
like
days of the week
for Odin or Woden, right?
That's
every day of the week
for
is
Thor.
Yeah. Thursday Thor. Tuesday is Chew. Chewbacca.
Monday is Moon Day.
Luna.
Monday is Moon Day. Saturday is Saturn Day, right? Sunday is the Sunday.
I had no idea any of this.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why But hey, Christian nation, as we celebrate things on Thor's Day.
We're actually a Viking
Right.
nation.
And then on Mars Day, which is Martes, which is Thursday?
Yep.
Martes. Yeah.
Mars Day. I mean, the French call them by the planets, don't they?
Sounds right.
Is that
not
right?
sure.
Marday, I don't know. This is why we
let's just
needed.
start from Monday. We'll go to Monday. Sunday is the sun. Monday is the moon. Tuesday is
The one I don't
miércoles
know. I don't.
in Spanish, which is Mercury.
Okay.
Okay.
Wednesday is Woden, which
Yeah,
is
for
is
Odin.
Jupiter. I
It's
think.
also. Oh yeah, yeah. Okay.
Vorden.
And then Thursday, Thor. Friday is
Freaks Day.
Friggs Day.
Saturday
Or
is.
Martes is Mars Day. And then Saturday is Saturn.
It's
There
a,
you go.
Thank you for that, guys. That's really enlightened my life.
If
So
we had
what's
an
going on
8-day
in
week,
politics?
we'd have
And not
Uranus.
the planet Saturn, the god Saturn from the Roman mythos.
If we
Yes.
could have an 8th day, we'd probably call it Uranus Day.
Yep.
I think we should get a
That's
day.
my favorite day.
Earth Day. Earth Day. You're not allowed to do shit.
That would be
I like
great.
that one.
Everybody
Actually-
I
relax.
need to do something to help the earth.
I have
Yeah,
a
you gotta plant a
long,
tree. Water bush.
running hard disk project called The 8th Day, which is
Giggity.
about a diary that has 8 days a week in it, and everything you write in the 8th day it just happens to you and has no impact on the other 7 days. And I just cannot find the way to turn it into. I think it's a rom-com. I think
So
two
everybody's
people,
eighth day, they're in their own pocket dimension, doing their own shit, not affecting anybody else.
and then two people manage to connect up on the 8th day and recognize each other in the other 7. And it's
Okay.
Hugh Grant and probably a 20-year-old actress. That's what I'm thinking.
Then why don't you?
Yeah,
then,
yeah.
why, then why don't you use
Yeah.
Leo?
It's like-
Guaranteed the actress will be under 25.
yeah, exactly. But playing 40, that's the obvious output there. So, Scott, do you want to join your party?
No.
Are you sure?
Join your party.
I don't know. I might do it for fun. How much is it?
Well, at the moment it's free. You just sign up for a newsletter.
Yeah, fine. I'll get a newsletter.
That's
and
too
see what
much.
they're all about. But
Let me
I
go to the
honestly don't. I think it's all very dumb. Like, we don't live in the system yet that will allow a party like that to win or thrive. All we're doing is splitting our vote for the left
Potentially.
and letting fuck us and win the next general election. So that's my opinion on it.
See-
I'm sure it's not very popular with some of the Corbyn people, but I don't give a fuck.
See, now
What is-
your parliament can like, if you have 3 different bodies of government and you have one that gets, like, say 46% of the vote, one that gets 20% of the vote, and one that gets the rest, can 2 of those parties work together to form a majority
We have had
government?
coalition governments recently, yes, in
Yep.
Okay.
2010.
That because that's what happens here, right?
Yeah. So in
So, they
2010,
don't do that in the States. So,
no, it's a
All or
crazy
nothing.
system.
Yeah.
So no, in
Winner take all.
2010, the conservatives had to form a government with another party. They just didn't have enough. There wasn't enough numbers. It was just too split. So they needed to find someone to go with to get a majority, and they went to the Liberal Democrats, who just really wrongly got into bed with them just to get an idea of what power felt like. And it really destroyed the party for a long time. It's taken a long time for them to sort of get on their feet and be some sort of political force again, because people who would support the Liberal Democrats would in no fucking way support the Conservative Party. So that was a big fucking mess. So it's happened before. Could Labor and your party become the party of government? I mean, I don't know, but I mean, at the end of the day,
Well, how would that work? I mean,
yeah,
Corbyn, when he was in the Labour Party, voted against the Labour Party most of the time. So I'm
Literally.
not
So,
convinced he could form a
yeah,
coalition with
they,
them.
they see themselves as some sort of, they're clearly going to see themselves as some sort of alternative to the Labour Party. I think now the best thing to do would be to get someone progressive to lead the party, and then maybe your party will fall back a little bit.
Well, did you see? I'm not sure of where the reporting's from and whether it's a direct quote, but Keir Starmer has apparently sort of said that Nigel Farage is the official opposition effectively now in this country.
I mean, I'm not trying to be funny. I kind of buy it. And it's because the Conservative Party is so fucking useless now. It is a broken. The party is a broken flesh. They're so in the woods. They don't know what's going on. You can at least turn around and say with the Reform Party, they have some popularity on their side right now. So
Yeah.
it makes sense to say it. I'm very upset because there's a counselor that's just been voted in my constituency from Reform, and I am very upset, very upset about it.
Not to dox you, but what's the constituency? Is it
I can't
South
say which
South London, North London?
It's a South London. It might give it away. I really don't want to say, guys. But,
No. But is it inner city or is it closer to the M25?
We're closer to the M25, but I am in a London zone.
We have a question for you guys in our chat. Question. I heard that Starmer basically laid off some MPs. It sounded a bit sketchy to me. Can a Brit explain it, please? That's from Trump failed, haha.
So basically, what Starmer did is I think he got rid of some rebels. So some of the rebels that voted against the disabled benefits bill or whatever.
Welfare bill.
I think he took away the whip, which you know what that means. Sorry.
It always strikes me they say it's removing the whip, and I always wonder where the whip has been kept for him to remove it from them, basically.
But yeah, so they've taken away the power to vote.
They're no longer part of the Labour Party in Parliament.
Not really part of the Labour Party. I mean, they can't vote on anything, can they? They're just
no, they can vote.
Lame ducks.
No, they can totally vote, and they can vote with the government or against the government. They're just independent MPs now. And then they can go off and join the Corbyn Party or Reform or whatever they want. I was reading that the reason Starmer's doing it is to try and lay down the law before the budget at the end in October, because what he's done is pick out some of the ones that were organising against the government, made them a scapegoat for this, and just said, look, this is what's going to happen to you if you vote against us. We're going to kick you out of the party, and they'll probably bring them back within 6 months, shamefaced, so that they vote alongside the budget, which is going to be potentially quite contentious this year, I think. Because there's
so it's not that they're not MPs anymore; it's that they've been basically removed from the party.
They're kind of removed from representing the party.
They still get the salary and the expenses. They lose the support network and infrastructure of the Labour Party.
And the shitty thing about that is people voted them because of the party. Voted for them because. So what you're literally doing by doing that is you're actually making a constituency of people that a majority voted for that party.
Yeah.
It's very much a political move. It's not in the interest of actual constituents.
No. It's about party management. I mean, they've had a number of votes where people have voted against the government, and arguably for good reasons on the welfare bill in particular.
To do it. But this is the thing, and this is where we are. And I'm at this point now where it pains me to say we need another leader, and we need someone that's more progressive, and we need to bring out even more progressive cabinet in now. This was kind of what I had hoped we would do at some point anyway, and I think we just need, because we need to be able to fight off any split that can happen, and it is happening. So because the idea of Reform becoming a ruling party in this country is a very terrifying and I think that's enough word for it there, terrifying thought. we need to be doing what we can to prevent that from happening, rather than, trying to make everyone love the Labour Party. Like, let's give some people the shit that they want, right? And if that means borrowing, I'm like, let's do it. I don't give a fuck. Like, just get, let's start doing some shit that the working class are gonna feel, and they're gonna be seen on, and they're gonna feel it in their pockets and in their quality of life, and then there's a chance that reform will be,
Yeah, I mean, it's interesting, Ollie, in terms of what happened in Canada. That what isn't happening here is that Farage is incredibly closely linked to Trump. He's been on the same stages. Yeah, and I think he's done a reasonable job of separating himself from Trump, or Trump has done a reasonable job of separating himself from Farage over the last 12 months. But, in Canada, there was a massive backlash against that. Now, obviously, Canada was under threat. But that turned an election around. Whereas what's happening here is almost the opposite. That Trump is definitely not popular in this country, except for a few madmen and women. But that isn't reflecting on Farage. Farage is, his party is at sort of 30-35% in the polls at the moment and leading the pack. Labour is on about 20%. And the Tories down nowhere. And, I think he's separating himself from the Trump relationship on purpose, and also stealing some left-wing policies,
But he's not, because
I wouldn't focus it on Trump. You got to remember, Trump he doesn't have a plan. He's just up there fucking freestyling. This is the Project 2025 thing. So it's the crypto clats, or whatever they're called now. It's those guys that are the same ones that are funding Vought, like Peter Thiel and Palantir and all that shit. The same big money back there in the back rooms over here is the same ones over there. It's the same guys. It's the same dudes.
Well,
trying
Keir Starmer, when he visited the States recently, his second meeting was with Peter Thiel at Palantir, and the new NHS software rollout is going to be done by guess who? Palantir.
Yeah, see, fuck that. Fuck that.
The tech bros are embedding themselves in our country as well.
I
would just want to call out a couple of super chats. Ivan Ambrose, thank you very much for the £9.99. Some in the Tories said that they have apologised enough. Others say that they have to keep apologising.
Yes, they do.
They need to know that the electorate are the judge on whether they have apologised enough or not. I don't think I've even really heard them apologize. I've heard a couple of backbenchers
for anything that can be done about it. Buries her head in the sand. She's an ostrich.
If you believed her, you'd think Keir Starmer's been in power for the last.
Yeah, you would think. Yeah, exactly. It's so.
Has been there a year? Like a whole year.
Just over a year, but she seems to blame him for everything that's wrong with the
country.
country.
He blames him for everything. For everything in the last 14 years, she tries to put it on him. It's
for 15 years we've been dealing with this.
Yeah.
Paula Thomas, thank you for the £2 super chat to tell me that Scott, your sound is a bit low. It's fine with me, but I'm not
really
sure.
Yeah, I can hear
why
you fine too.
Is that a little bit better for you?
Too.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah.
Sorry about that.
If you look on your little mute button down there, that little arrow that goes up, I would check your audio settings, because for us, it starts us off at like 15%, and I'm usually at like 50.
All right.
So it might have started you off low. It does that for me every friggin' time, even though I'm signed in. Remember my settings, you damn thing.
Before we went live and ridiculously did it without any audio, by the sense of it, basically we were discussing how terrible this software is. When you think that, Teams is definitely worse. But when you think that we went through a couple of years of COVID with everybody using this stuff, and
I don't mind either. I think they do the function that they are
do the
supposed
job.
to do.
I suppose so. I get to talk to
Skype
my
was
mother
the
on it,
best,
and you
and
guys.
it's gone.
So.
It is. It's a shame.
Well, no,
Skype
we've got
was
Teams.
literally a diamond in the rough.
Where I work, we use Slack. That's shit.
Slack is also very bad.
Terrible.
I'm not sure who's selling all of these products to all of these like CEOs and shit, but there's nothing that makes my workday easier than 7,000 notifications. You know what I mean? Like I have to mute my phone so I can
Is-
focus on work, and then work also is filled with notifications. Like you gotta stop. Enough.
Is that better, guys?
Yep.
I mean, I put my input volume right up, so
You'll
I'm
have to
hoping that will be better for everybody.
It
tell
does
us in
sound
the
louder.
chat if
Put
you
it a
can.
little closer, but I put
does sound
I
a
put
bit
the
louder.
input volume right up.
We'll,
I don't know
we'll, we'll
what's
wait
happening.
30 seconds for the chat to respond.
Yeah,
Ven-
right.
Vendetta in the chat is agreeing with you, Scott, and saying that Slack is wank. Basically,
Slack sucks. I
Oh.
mean, we to do calls. They don't do calls. It's called a huddle, and
Gross.
it's
Ugh.
oh, I know, and it's
Gross.
so pretentious, and and that's because you can add other people, right? And then you do this huddle. You have to literally wait for the person to, want to join your huddle, and you can just very easily mute a notification for a huddle, and it doesn't disconnect you. It keeps you there. It lets you wait for that person until they decide they want to join your huddle. It sucks. And then you got all these channels, right? So companies will set up all
It's
these
Discord.
different ways of distributing different information. It's spam and it's annoying. And then the way they interface their DMs, I just think is just fucking terrible. I can see my DMs in a much better way on Teams than I can on Slack. So that's my bugbear. I use it every fucking day. It drives me nuts. So yes.
We have a
This is
correction from our days of the week. Tuesday is
Oh.
Martes, Wednesday is Miércoles. So Tuesday is
Okay.
Mars and Wednesday is Mercury. And also one angry
Okay.
pagan says Anglo-Saxon, not Viking/North. Both are Germanic, sure, but for Anglo-Saxons it was Thunor, not Thor.
Thanor.
Yeah, Thunor. But he's
Okay.
got the ancient scripts on there. I can't ever. I always like the A with the E next to it.
Yeah. I don't even know how you pronounce that. We'd have to ask one
No,
angry pagan.
I don't know either.
I think it's an
That's-
sound or something.
It's when people say eggs instead of eggs, that's the sound.
Right.
It's that A. The A
Eggs.
with a little bit of an E on
A,
it. Eggs.
A.
And they're legs.
So it's a Canadian word. I got you. Okay.
It's
A.
totally, yeah.
Speaking of
Totally.
Canadians, South Park decided to nuke Paramount. Good for them.
Yep. Why do you blame
Brilliant.
that on Canadians?
Absolutely
South Park is not
wonderful.
Canadian.
It was
Huh?
just a segue, Ali. Don't read too much into it.
Absolutely
Ooh.
wonderful episode of South Park, and you can't watch it on Paramount Plus here. I did watch it online, and whoo-wee!
Well, they put out the
they
juicy
pretty
bit
much
for
put the
everybody
whole thing out anyway. Yeah.
on YouTube.
The-
You can watch the part that Trump's really mad about, where
Yes.
his
Oh,
little
yes.
his little itty bitty pee is on
Full
on
Full
screen.
display.
And then and after we see his itty bitty pee, he crawls into bed with Satan.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's truly
And I
wonderful.
loved how they had him talking like Saddam Hussein the whole
Yeah.
fucking time.
Yes, which was so poetic. And
Yeah.
the whole thing, it was a Saddam Hussein Satan conversation as per those conversations back in the
Exactly.
day. And yeah,
Exactly.
absolutely wonderful. They didn't really even need to think about it that much. And they just went, right, we're going to make him Saddam Hussein 'cause he's a dictator, and we're going to put his face, like we did with Saddam Hussein, on the thing. And we're
Yeah, they didn't animate
make him
him.
talk just like it, and done. And that's all you needed to do. Make fun of his little willy, and make fun of the fact that he sues everybody. I mean, hysterical.
Yeah.
I mean,
Hysterical.
They just got $1.5 billion for the last couple
For the
seasons.
next 50 episodes of South Park.
Yeah.
So that is going to be,
fire us. We don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still gotta
I
pay
hope
me.
every episode.
But I mean,
Also-
it's crazy on some of the like the sort of TikTok videos that they released. There are actually MAGAs on there going, "I'm a MAGA." I thought this was funny.
Yeah.
It was.
It was funny.
Yeah, there's people that literally going, yeah,
The-
you can't laugh at yourself. This is funny. I was like,
I think it also.
okay, well, wait until they really start making fun of you guys, because that's what's next. You know,
Well,
you can take
this
the piss
and
out of
the,
Trump, but you gotta open the scope. They're gonna start taking piss out of the MAGAs,
Yeah.
and that's gonna be harsh.
Well, I don't know. I think they'll focus on. I think they'll focus on Trump. I was talking about this in Morning Brew this morning. That I think that with Murdoch using the Wall Street Journal as a tiny wedge to start really chinking away at Trump.
He's got to get Fox to do the same thing, though. He owns
They
Fox.
are
He's got to
starting.
make
Well, I
them.
think that was my conspiracy theory this morning. I think that's what's happening slowly, basically. And I think he's paving the way with the Wall Street Journal because he knows nobody that watches Fox reads that. And Fox isn't reporting the story at all, but he's just paving the way. And it's kind of he's baiting Trump into fucking this up. And I reckon J.D. Vance is entirely involved in this. Did you see that J.D. Vance took a flight to meet with Murdoch, with Rupert and Lachlan, in June, at the end of June, just before the week before the first bawdy picture story was put out,
Right.
and the same week that Elon Musk said that Trump is in the Epstein files.
Epstein files. Yeah.
So if you want a conspiracy theory, my theory is
That's
that
one.
Vance
so.
and Thiel and Musk are moving with Murdoch now, because Murdoch has got, Murdoch lost a lot of money over the Dominion voting machines, and although very wealthy man, probably not a big effect. It's had an effect.
It's only 530 million. It's not that much.
I think it was $787 million.
Oh.
In the end, with all the settlement, but that hit, and losing people like Tucker Carlson, which whether that was a good thing or not within Fox, basically that's a big chunk of audience that vanished for him late at night on Fox TV, which must have lost advertising.
Oh,
and
they
then
got
you've got
Gutfeld.
Well, they got a bunch of morons now. There's this little round table, and they all sound ridiculous. I don't mind being called a Nazi. They just sound absolutely moronic.
Are you trying to downplay the great comedy stylings of Greg Gutfeld, Mike? How dare you? He is hilarious.
Do you think CBS will employ Gutfeld to take over Colbert's show next May?
That'd be fun.
They're ending that show. They're gonna.
They're ending this show
Ending
so
the
they get rid of
late-night show.
the history of that show. But are they? They are talking about putting something on more friendly to a wider audience.
Oh,
That's what
definitely they are. Yeah.
Which suggests it's going to go a bit basically.
Yeah.
It'll be great. It's just like every one of their other projects. They can dump a bunch of money into it, just like Ben Shapiro, and look at what that investment got you. You got shit on by Joe Rogan, who eats mushrooms and talks about fucking pyramids on Mars for 16 hours a week, and he's shitting all over your number one guy. And now the Midas Touch Boys have taken over Rogan's spot. Like, they can keep fucking with we got rid of Colbert. That's fine. He'll go on YouTube and he'll be 13 times more popular if he gets a YouTube channel than if he ever if he just did like memberships and like a live stream once a week, he'd have 40, 50, 60,000 people in that live stream. And that would make up all of the money that he would have ever missed per episode.
His streams of the during the pandemic, they all went on YouTube, didn't they? His show went on YouTube during the pandemic, and
I don't remember.
He got really big numbers, and it was incredibly popular, incredibly entertaining.
There's talk of him and teaming
John
up with
Stewart
Rachel Maddow, isn't it?
Yes.
To do a serious and funny show.
They would not need. They don't need a fucking network. They don't need a network. If they had a Twitch channel, they would completely sustain them. They would completely sustain themselves.
I think there's two things I'd love to say on this. One is I think that both the South Park and the Colbert Story demonstrate the power of contracts within the television industry, because CBS come out and say we're cancelling this show in 10 months' time because if we're contractually obliged to Colbert and it will cost us a fucking fortune to buy him out of that contract.
Yeah, right.
So he's going to run for 10 months pretty much with the handcuffs off. He's going to be able to say whatever he wants, isn't he? Because what can they do? They can't get rid of him blatantly.
If he goes too far, I made a prediction the other day. I think that sometime in around Christmas, he will be done on the show, and they will have a replacement in for the last 4 to 6 months.
That's possible. Yeah.
Right.
But also, there is a rumor that Colbert might run in 2029.
Run for what?
He's been interviewed twice for this, right? And his
Run for
answer
what?
to the question, would you ever run to be president?
President.
Right?
President of what?
The United States of
Sorry,
America.
sorry, y'all. I need resumes from now on. No, no
I kind of
DEI
agree with
white,
Mikey.
no DE white guys up in here. Just because they're popular and white, they get to be a fucking president. See how it went the last 2 times. Fuck
this
that.
This is what I said
no,
this morning, because if you look at the parallel I like in this is that, the Zelensky story is, I think, is great if you agree with Zelensky as a president and what he's doing, in that he was a satirical comedian and he was massively popular in Ukraine and Russia. He was, regarded as one of the most popular comedians in Russia because he's a Russian speaker. And then he makes a film about a teacher that makes a speech and it goes on social media and he ends up becoming the president. And then he does become the president as a result and takes his entire writing team into staff and then fights a war with Putin. So there's an argument to say, well, Colbert could do that, or Jon Stewart could, Colbert, Jon Stewart.
Well, I was just going to say, what if it's a Stewart Colbert ticket?
If
a couple of white guys, Mikey. Why would you not want a couple of white guys running?
If that's the game we're playing, give me Neil deGrasse Tyson, Bill Nye.
There you go.
Okay.
I like that game.
Yeah.
If we're going to play celebrities, I'd rather have somebody who can, even if they don't understand a problem, will spend a night reading the fucking necessary material to make an informed decision by the morning. I would rather have a logical, critical thinking celebrity if I'm going to have
peer-reviewed policies, trials, and research. We'd be
voting every 16 hours. Like, damn, Neil, shit, man. Come on, y'all. We got to go to City Hall. He wants us to vote again. God damn.
Yeah.
Well, this is the thing. If we were going to start a party from scratch that could take a position in American politics in particular, like Corbyn is doing over here, what would the shape of that party be? Is there any way to break the 2-party system in America with a third party coming through the middle?
We have third parties. It's just we have third parties. It's just the money in politics is so stacked towards those two sides. That's why there's a duopoly, because people can run by themselves. They can run independent for president, but then they get completely outfunded. The TV stations and all that shit will say, okay, advertising for your political campaign, $300,000 a hit. Well, that's what everybody else is paying. And then, that's the business you end up in trying to run independent. So I think off rip, all elections are federally funded.
I mean, you got to get somebody elected that's going to pass that law, I guess.
Well, we're making our own party, right?
Yeah, okay. I mean, in the chat, we've got suggestions that Kanye West and Cory Booker should run together. What do you think?
No.
Kanye West?
Stewart and Colbert are too old to be candidates in the USA. Oh, not old enough. Old? Super Tiny 808 says they're not old enough to run as candidates.
Yeah, they're not 80.
Yeah.
So Chuck Grassley and Mitch McConnell would be next in line.
Colbert's mid-60s, and Stewart's a year or two older, isn't he? So I think they're old enough.
I think Stewart's late 60s. Yeah.
Yeah. Colbert's early to mid-60s, and yeah.
I mean, speaking of age, Vendetta is suggesting Hulk Hogan's rancid racist corpse for president.
No.
You.
No.
It's a good job
Wayne
put that in the room.
I wouldn't even put that in the ocean. I'd put it in a volcano or something.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, at least 2 to 3% of the American population would vote for that. But
do you think it's a shame? I don't know what your history is on this, but my kids used to be massively into WWE.
Yeah.
And Hulk Hogan was an actual, he's a cartoonish character that.
When I was a kid,
he was like a
hero.
I grew up with him. He was the real American. He was the take your vitamins, go to school. He was say
your prayers,
all this shit. He was hometown America. They built him up. He made the WWE what they are today. Like without him, they would not be what they are.
Disagree.
So and that is a
in the early
multi-billion-pound corporation. He was a huge influence on American culture, American children in the 80s, you know. So that's why it was so disappointing when he started flying out the N-word. That's why it was so disappointing when he was saying homophobic shit. And you found out about the unions, and you found out about all this other stuff, and it was just like, oh, so he wasn't
Yeah.
the
union
all-American
person.
awesome guy.
The union
Yeah.
thing, Scott, do you want to like tell people what that is? Because a lot of people have no idea what you're just talking about. Like,
Well, the union thing, apparently, a lot of the wrestlers. This is just basically watching the Vince McMahon documentary.
Jesse Ventura tried to get a
Jesse
wrestlers
Ventura
union.
wanted to start a union for the wrestlers because, you know, what if they get injured? Should they get sick pay? Should they get hospital treatment? Paid by the company, and all this sort of stuff that they could try to bargain for or barter for, whatever it is, through a union. Hulk Hogan grasped them right up, went straight to Vince McMahon and said, they're trying to start a union. And he shut it down.
Yep.
He is a scab. And he put all these, wrestlers who were, who wanted sort of kind of employment rights, you know what I mean?
How dare they?
He fucked them.
Yep.
Didn't he shut down Gork as well? Was it Gork Media, the online network that he sued into oblivion over a sex tape? And they
he wasn't too happy about free press in any way, shape, or form. Because was the sex tape him cheating on his wife?
Yeah, I think so.
Probably.
They got hold of a sex tape and it was worth a fortune until
it ruined his life.
Look
He also ruined his life when he started dropping the N-word, which he used because his daughter started going out with a black guy. Is that right? Or am I getting it mixed up with Dog the Bounty Hunter?
Both of them did it.
No, right, okay.
They look the same and they act the same.
They act the same.
Dog is just
cousins.
Hawaiian. Dog is just Hawaiian Hulk.
Yeah. Is he still alive?
Yeah.
Can I just say that Alan...
It's his wife that died, isn't it? Yeah, that's right.
I think so.
Alan Weber in the chat says that as a mark of respect for his death, we should all hold a minute's silence and quietly remember his sex tape.
No.
Trump failed haha in the chat.
I never saw it. No, thank you.
Trump failed haha says, as a union carpenter, I'm glad I'm not the only one who still uses the term scab or rat. Yep. Him a scab.
It's a very old school term. Yeah, scab. But it's true. That's what I call gay conservatives.
The unions out here will inflate a giant 20-foot fan powered rat balloon in front of businesses that they're striking outside of it. So you'll just be like, let me go over here to go get some taco from. Oh, you done pissed them off.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, he was a rat. He ratted them out. And so, and I said it was the homophobia and the racism. And that's why his last WWE appearance was a disgrace. And he was booed out of the arena.
I would argue Stone Cold's better in impact on WWE than Hulk.
I wouldn't say that at all because
I wouldn't either,
we're still talking about Hulk Hogan.
Hogan was around for 15 years before you even heard of Stone Cold.
Yeah.
And the WWE was huge. And Stone Cold came in.
The only reason Hulk was good was because everybody hated Macho Man. He was the old Macho Man is the real
Macho Man
hero.
Was not really a heel.
He was the heel, and then you got Hulk over here playing the face.
Really a heel.
No.
Macho Man was better in every way.
If you look at the 80s,
you're talking later wrestling, Mikey. You don't remember the early 80s wrestling.
You young whippersnappers, Mikey.
With the Roddy Piper
about wrestling.
Roddy Piper's big.
Roddy Piper's
guy.
For the elderly English audience, this is we're comparing the equivalent of Giant Haystacks and Big Daddy here. If anyone remembers those on ITV.
Yeah. Where's the Iron Sheik?
Iron Sheik.
Iron Sheik was a heel.
He was a scab. He was a heel.
Yeah,
they tried to make Andre a heel, and they just failed.
It failed
because he's so nice. He's so cool.
Yeah, no, everyone loved him. It didn't matter he was a heel. Everyone still loved him because he was
like, God, he's enormous.
Because he was Andre.
How tall was he?
And it was the
like
same.
7'5"?
It was exactly the same with Macho Man Randy Savage because everyone loved the whole
Yeah.
Elizabeth and him storyline. So he
Yes.
could never
Miss Elizabeth.
really.
Yeah.
But he could never really be a heel
Oh,
because of it.
yeah.
Because he was in love. Do you know what I mean? He's not heels don't
too
love.
likable.
You know,
He's
the
too
$1
likable.
million
Later
man
on in
didn't have
his
a
career,
girlfriend that he loved.
Yeah.
You know, no,
The Ultimate Warrior, another one that they tried to turn into a heel, and he just
it was
couldn't.
rubbish.
We
They
liked
loved
him.
Yeah,
We liked
they
him.
loved
He was
him.
crazy.
So
Were there
But
any?
this is what
Were there any
happened.
Canadian wrestlers, Ollie, in WWE? Is that
What?
Canadians?
Leaping Lonnie Poffo was Canadian.
Okay.
The
Right?
Hart brothers, the Hart
The
family.
Hart brothers.
No, they were
Right, the
they
whole
were
Hart family?
British, weren't they?
No,
Oh
they're all
no,
from
no,
Calgary.
Bret Hart. Yeah, no, yeah,
Yeah.
Alberta.
he was
Calgary. I think you guys were saying Randy Savage, isn't he Canadian? I
What?
think he's Canadian. I'm not sure, but I think.
I
I'm gonna
must
Google that
look-
shit.
Somebody's got to
Yeah.
Google this.
So-
yeah.
Oh yeah,
He-
we're in. Don't worry
You're-
about that.
Ryan
Macho
Reynolds,
Man.
you're getting moved out of the list.
Macho Man Savage.
I'm not
The
positive.
best.
I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But something's popping in my head that he's Canadian.
Hey, Ali, he's
Scott,
from
I
Ohio.
could see
Oh,
you
okay.
doing WWE, Scott.
Oh, that was my Macho Man. He was from Columbus, Ohio. That was my Macho Man Savage. You Hulk Hogan, yeah, he's gonna come and I'm gonna go into the ring with the beautiful Elizabeth. Yeah.
Is that
Yeah.
Trump or who?
Well,
George
you know,
Floyd.
these days, who knows? You know what I mean?
But that's-
Because if you watch the movie Idiocracy, they got a wrestler to play the president.
Yeah.
Yes,
And
yeah.
if you think about it, that kind of is. I mean, Trump's a massive fan, isn't he, of the wrestling?
He was
And he's
part of
been-
it.
Yeah, and he's the
was part
education
of it.
secretary is the former.
He was
chief
such a big
exec of-
fan. He was such a
So-
big fan. Who hit him? Someone hit him.
Oh. Does anybody here remember their very first experience with wrestling? Because I do.
Well,
My first experience with
actually
wrestling was in-
men, Ollie. Is this something you want to
No,
reveal?
No,
on
no,
live stream? Is this-
with the professional wrestling, going
Yes,
to watch it.
I
being
do.
a
I
fan
do
type of thing.
actually.
My first experience was in '77
Right.
with my grandmother taking me to a live local small town event.
That's
Right.
fun.
I got to see Leo Burke. I got to see Killer Carl Krupp. Right, a couple of really old wrestlers. The
Long dead
Cuban
wrestlers.
Assassin, Cuban Assassin. Right. So yeah, no, there was a couple of wrestlers that it was kind of neat. So
No, for me it was summer at my uncle's house. We were shipped off to our uncle's one summer because my mom had got had enough. She wanted some time alone, and we spent a lot of time hanging out with it was kind of like a second cousin, because he was cousin by marriage, and he introduced us to us, so we just got addicted to it, watching it there, and then that was it. You know, we had to have the wrestling ring, we had to have the toys, we had to have the fake belt, we had to have I had the WWE album on vinyl. I had, with I'm a Real American and the other shit songs they did. So yeah, I was
Scott, can I on this subject? Lee Korn has given us £2 to ask what would Scott's WWE name be?
Well, it can't be Scotty Too Hottie because that was already a wrestling name.
yep,
That was
Can't
a
take
nickname I
that.
got called at work for fucking years. Even though I was like, there's a wrestler called that. I'm not a wrestler. I don't know.
Let's get
I guess it could be
suggestions in the
Scott
chat.
the Bot.
I think.
That could be short for bottom, but I'm not a bottom either, so I don't know what to say.
Okay, well, let's get some suggestions in the chat. I think Mikey, if
I'm
you
sure
were
it'll be something really gay, Scott the Cock or some shit like that.
I mean, that's you're being a little bit homophobic there, but the
Yeah, easy, Scott. I have gay
Come
friends.
on.
Don't talk like that.
Sorry. I'm sorry. Mikey, can you not say the N-word anymore, okay? Because, that's racist.
I seldom do in mixed company.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But,
So
in all seriousness, I didn't say I was like Scott the F-bomb. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, and I was like, all right, Scott. All right. All right, guys, we're gonna take a quick
F-bomb
commercial
Scott,
break.
you know? It's
We're
like,
gonna take a quick commercial
I like,
break and love
yeah,
on Scott
right.
for a minute here. Scott, what is going on? What is happening right now? Get it together.
So-
just
What are you
tuning
doing?
in right now. So yeah, no, I have no idea what wrestling they would have been. but,
Bruno just suggested the London Yanker.
Oh, I love it. I love it.
I am in.
Top
The
hat,
back alley.
pair of rubber gloves.
I
That's
come
the
down. I
uniform,
come down
basically.
the runway. You know, it's the ring. It gives a little bit of the bushwhacker realness, but
Perfect.
gayer.
That's perfect.
And yeah, I'm in.
I got it. I got it.
What you
And
got?
I got the gimmick. I got the gimmick too, because this is the thing. Everyone's like throwing out names.
Gotta have a gimmick, right? The
gotta have it.
yanker, yeah.
The Milkman.
That's
And you're
gonna
gonna
be
come
Wayne.
out and bib, and you're gonna come out in bib overalls. And then that's your special move: is you bend them over your knee and you
And
pull
yeah,
a
just
bucket out
start
from
coming
under
from
stage.
behind. You got give him a reach around. He's going for the reach around.
Oh dear God, that man's got a family. He's being milked
No,
dry.
he's gonna reach
We
around.
cut to
Is it gonna be a
commercials.
submission?
He's milking the essence out of that man.
We used to. I had a friend we called the milkmaid because, you know, that's what he did on Friday night.
And that would be your person that followed the milk maiden, and she would come behind
the
you.
milkmaid.
Yeah, she
Be a
would
real
come-
flamboyant queen.
you would bring a cow to the stage. You'd bring a literal
Wow.
cow on the it comes and it stands on it, and then the milk maiden watches the cow, and then you go
Yeah.
up, milk the dude, and then you come on down after you win, and then you ride the cow out.
That
No.
is milking, isn't it?
And then the whole crowd is just
Wow.
like, yeah,
Yeah!
Milk him! Milk him!
milk him,
Big sign
milk
saying
him."
milk man.
Everyone's got milk mustaches.
But you don't do this. You do the Trump
That's
dance,
your
right? You do
shirt?
the Trump
That's
dance.
your-
You do the Trump dance.
Your merch shirt is like a silhouette of your face, but it's just got a milk mustache.
Yeah. No, I got a little bit of milk dripping from the side of my lips.
Well, this is
Mikey is disgusted. Mike is disgusted.
It's
clearly.
degenerated very quickly.
Uh,
One
No one
one
talks to
angry
the milkman like that.
one
I
angry
don't understand
pagan.
why are you being homophobic, Mike?
I'm trying to deal with the super chats. I'm not trying to change the subject at all. One angry
literally
pagan
are.
has
Okay.
given us £2. I don't know what that's saying. CDN wrestler Canadian wrestler Bret the Hitman Hart.
Yes.
Yes.
So he's
And
the
Owen
brothers.
too.
Legend.
The Hart brothers. You said
Hart brothers.
The Hart Brothers, yeah.
Owen
Thank you,
died on a
Megan.
pay-per-view.
Yeah,
That
he
was
did.
super
He did.
sad.
Absolutely tragic. Yeah.
What died
He-
on TV
Yep.
in the
Well,
ring?
pay-per-view,
Well,
yeah.
It was a pay-per-view, and yeah, they didn't air it because there was enough of a delay that they didn't show the accident, right? So he was doing a wire entrance, right? Sliding down a wire to the ring. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
hooked
Like
up,
like rappelling
and-
down in a harness
repelling. Yeah, and it broke and he fell, right? So
on the turnbuckle.
Jeez.
So there were
On the
some other suggestions in the chat. I think we should give him a little bit of credit for trying. Some like it's Scott. Scott
Some
of
like
the
it's Scott.
Snotter. The
Of course,
Discriminator.
Darren DeStar is suggesting that Wayne will be horribly upset if you steal his wrestling name.
I
The
I
Milkman.
have a bad
the
fit.
milkman.
Master of the Ring, the Milkman.
Yeah, you
and
should
Wayne's,
come on.
Wayne's already got a name. It's the Wayne Maker.
He
The
is the
Waymaker.
Waymaker.
Um,
Oh
Story-
my God! Scott's slogan would be "I love the taste of fresh milk in the morning."
See, I think we've got something going here. I think this is a great new WWE
You guys, there's a whole
character.
thing about me not being a wrestler. I know I
What,
you know,
no-
I'm losing
no-
a bit of
no
weight
talent
going
for
down the
wrestling.
gym, but you know,
Look, we've
We're
got
not-
90% of this sorted out. You don't need to have a talent for wrestling. That's fine.
yeah, you do. I
It's
know.
all PR.
I've met wrestlers. I have met actual
Dude,
wrestlers. It's a very
We can-
athletic thing.
You can learn how to do that though.
You can learn
Somebody-
how to do it, but it is
Somebody
a
in
very
the chat
athletic
is
thing.
suggesting that you actually have a pantomime cow, and what we could have is two real wrestlers in the pantomime cow that do the fighting bit for you under your instructions.
It's
That's the way it's
it's
supposed
all
This is-
neck.
it-
Wrestling
This
is all
this
neck muscles.
sounding very Juggalo wrestling, actually, which I have actually been watching on YouTube. It is trashy as fuck, and
Well,
Juggalo
you could
wrestling.
be a manager.
Juggalo wrestling.
be-
Yeah, it's
You
pretty
could be a
trashy.
manager, right? You could be a manager,
I always wanted to be the
right?
Pallbearer.
pallbearer.
Oh, Taker.
I have the ashes of Hulk Hogan in my hand.
Mom, you hear that? He's got the
Oh.
ashes of Hulk Hogan in that thing.
Yeah,
No,
that's
Hulk's dead. Hulk Hogan.
That's totally going to happen, isn't it? But this is where I was getting to with all of this is that it is a shame that when you're judged by your obituary at the end of your life, Hogan had a chance to actually be a bit of an American hero, didn't he? And he fucked that up completely.
He fucked it up.
In the last 20 years,
Completely.
basically.
Remember?
Well,
when he
someone-
had that
and then you
tweet
look
with
at-
the-
last 40 years.
Yeah, well, if you look at the other death this week of Ozzy
Yes,
Osbourne,
just about to mention that.
and you think this guy, biting bats' heads off, etc., doing evil devil music for all of his life, but he still dies a beloved character, a beloved.
Well, this is
human
the thing
being,
as well,
basically.
though. I've had pushback because I've been very much saying that online this week. This is a very beloved character, person, an innovator of a extremely successful subgenre of music. But I've been come back with, he supported Israel. He tried to kill his wife. People actually attacked him for being a drug addict and an alcoholic, which I think was pretty disgusting. That's a disease. That's not something, we should be looking down on someone for being, because those are diseases. Addiction is a horrible disease. And
But I also don't think we looked up to him for that either. I think it was just an acceptable part.
No
of
one
who
looked
he
up to
was.
him because he bit a head off a bat on accident. No one looked up to him for that. He tried to kill his wife, and it's just like, okay, yeah, he did that in a drug and alcohol-induced psychosis. So we're not worried about his mental health now because he did something stupid. The reason that Sharon Osbourne has been vocal about the Palestine-Israel conflict is because she is part Jewish. And a lot of Jewish people in America have very much drunk the Kool-Aid of being pro-Israel. So I kind of feel like what's going to happen is not even just her, but a lot of celebrities, a lot of public figures who have been spoken out to be pro-Israel are going to have a nasty, nasty shock when the facts of what everybody else is seeing is brought to a larger light and shown a lot more, and they're going to be a bit like, well, shit, we fucked up with that one.
It's interesting doing the papers this week and the morning show. The Daily Express had a whole front page about a starving kid in Gaza, which is a very right-wing newspaper now leading with that, and they've been leading with it all week. And also there are, whatever we think, Starmer has come out today with probably the strongest condemnation of what's going on and demanding an immediate ceasefire and suggesting that we're going to recognise a Palestinian state this year, and so have France. So it feels like there is a very slow and grinding momentum towards the
all right, that's great. Can we announce not giving them any weapons?
Yeah, well, Angela Eagle didn't
do
do herself proud this week by talking about how proud she was.
How easy is that to say? Listen, we want a ceasefire. You don't get any more fucking weapons from us.
Yeah, I agree.
Simple. Yeah.
Well, they're starving them to death, so they're not going to need them in a minute.
Well, they're still shooting them in lines for food. They're executing them from far away.
And using drones as well.
Yeah.
It's
pretty fucked up. And so, no more weapons. You don't get any money. You don't get any more weapons. This finishes now. Stop.
And I was reading this morning.
But then America will bankroll it, so it's fine.
Yeah, there are UN workers who are starving in Gaza because they can't get access to food either now, and journalists who are based there that are starving, which is, I think, why the stories are starting to resonate politically all of a sudden. That,
But because white people are suffering now?
yeah, of course,
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
You know,
And
As
just
long as we know.
I mean, before we
just
get on
talking-
that, I want to just quickly go back to Ozzy because that's a very serious one. When we talk about Ozzy, I think Ozzy did try to atone for a lot of the bullshit that he did when he was younger. You know, that last charity concert raised the most money for charity than any
Yeah.
concert has ever done ever. I think it like beat Live Aid and stuff like that.
And also, what a beautiful thing for him and
Inflation.
I imagine Sharon to be able to organise that. You know, as somebody
Yeah.
that's just gone through, you know, a potentially deadly illness. The idea that a month before you pretty much knew your time was up, basically, you know, it was going to be within a few months. He must have known.
He did.
oh yeah, I'm sure he did.
To be able to do that is quite a great thing. And the thing is, the guy's, you know, it's not my music, but the guy is a bloody rock star. We can't judge him by the standards of politicians, you know. And
Yeah,
also,
but,
never
well,
ever
I
in his
got no-
life did what, because I
But
think the
got
biggest
into an
problem for
argument
me
with
is
someone about
hypocrisy,
this
isn't
today.
it? When
He was political. You listen
Was
to
he,
songs
though?
like War Pigs, and you listen to some of the early Black Sabbath songs. They're very political. His
Right.
solo stuff. Miracle Man was about a corrupt evangelist.
But I think my point
you
when
know,
comparing him and Hogan is that at no point was he a hypocrite about this stuff, in that he never
was
came out and
honest
said,
about it.
hey kids,
No.
don't do drugs. He never
Yeah.
did that, basically.
Yeah, he
Whereas
did it.
Hogan-
He tried it with his own kids. You know what I mean? He said it to his own kids, but you know, he never tried to run around and he did say, you know, drugs have fucked up my life. It's not like he never admitted that. You know, I think he was very honest. He was very one of everybody else. And I think that's why people loved him so much. He was, and especially the TV show, just showing him being a dad that made so many people relate to him. So you know, I don't think Ozzy Osbourne essentially was a bad human being.
No.
Whereas Hulk Hogan tried to play it pure, and then it was exposed that he was a bad human being. That's, I think, is the difference for me, anyway.
I actually I
people
bumped
will
into
disagree.
him. I bumped into him once in a Marks
You
and
said.
Spencer's in Beaconsfield.
Of all the places in the world.
It was weird, really weird. But I've got two stories about Marks and Spencer's that work that way. One in Cambridge and one in Beaconsfield. But he was standing near the freezer section, and as I turned the corner, and he's dressed as Ozzy Osbourne. You know, he goes out shopping to Marks and Spencer's exactly
Where's
as he goes on stage. It's in,
Well, that's
it's in
where he is.
Buckinghamshire. It's a little village in
Buckinghamshire.
Buckinghamshire.
Yes,
But
because they had the house there, didn't they?
That's where
for a
their
long
house
time?
was, yeah.
Yeah.
And he's standing staring in this freezer, and I walked past him and I thought, that's Ozzy Osbourne, right? And then suddenly he just sort of comes alive and stands there and goes, Sharon! Basically. And Sharon comes trotting up from the bread aisle and says, it's all right, Ozzy, I've got you, basically, and just walks him out the shop. And I thought, am I in an episode?
The Osbourne.
Is that what's happening here, basically?
I think
I saw
my
that
story. I
episode.
have an Ozzy story, and this is a really wonderful story. And I don't run around telling everyone a story. I did tell everybody in the group chat. Basically, I used to work in music industry for a really, really, really massive music promoter. Some would call evil now. But I was getting myself into doing actual gig production. And one of the gigs I worked on was a gig in 2013 for Black Sabbath at the O2 Arena. And I mean, I was so in there in that music. I've been working at this company since 2006. I was in the pocket. I was drinking the Kool-Aid of this company. I was in the music industry, and I was trying to get on and try to get ahead. And so anyway, I was working at this really big production. I watched the stage being built. I watched all this sort of stuff happening. But I never got to meet Ozzy Osbourne or Sharon Osbourne, even though they were both around. But I did have to run an errand at one point from the production office, which is always based backstage with the dressing rooms. So I had to go to front of house, and I had to walk past Ozzy Osbourne's dressing room, which at one point I heard Ozzy Osbourne doing vocal warm-ups, right? So that was my 13-year-old self flipped out, you know, just hearing that. And then I passed the doorway to his dressing room, and Robert Plant was having a conversation with Brian May.
Ugh.
And I could not say anything because I'm in the environment where I have to be a professional. And and this backstage area, that is their safe space. That is the space away from fans. That is the space that they should be like every other person.
A selfie.
So I had
slot.
to just
Yeah.
keep walking, and I had to keep walking.
Oh,
and I
man.
regretted it all my life since. And my 13-year-old self, I remember walking by and I know I mouthed, "Oh my fucking God." Because I'm in the vicinity of 3 of the biggest rock and roll legends in the world ever.
Yeah.
It will never get better than that.
Yeah.
I didn't meet them, but I saw them.
But you did the right thing as well.
Because
it could have been an awful experience if you'd walked in and said, "Hey, I'm a really, really
my
massive
God!
fan,"
You know,
and they went, "Fuck off,
if I had done
fire
that,
that
it would have
bloke."
been a terrible
basically.
experience. No, I would have. They would have had to go at me for being unprofessional. But my boss or the guy I was working with at the time, you know, they would have been off. They could have made a complaint to the promoter.
Yep.
It would have been a shit show.
Totally.
You wanna make an omelet? You got to break some eggs.
I don't know. I don't need a selfie that bad. I need to do my job, and that's what I did. I did my job, and I kept going, and
No, you did the right thing, man.
I have a great story to tell. You know what I mean? Like that was awesome. Like you don't see
Go back in
like
time
every day.
and kiss him on the mouth. Then what? Then what story do you have to tell?
Like,
So this is how I went to jail.
But it's weird, you know. It makes sense. Of course, they're all fucking friends. Ozzy's in London. Their friends are gonna go see him. You know.
Yeah.
They've got something in common. That's the thing.
We have
something that most people don't have. The commonality of what it is to be a rock star.
To be at that level of fame. That level of rock and roll stardom. Yeah, of course. So.
Of course, you could have Wayne's World them and just got down on your knees and said, "We're not worthy."
And that
you should have did that. You should have did that. You should have did that.
He was. I thought, could I Wayne's World this? No, you can't. You can't do any of that shit. You have to.
Here's what you do. Here's what you do. You walk up, gentlemen, and then they'll do this. Do 1 or 2 we're not worthies. I'm like, fix your shirt. That is all. And then just walk away.
I'm not worthy. I'm not worthy. I gotta go. Bye.
Okay. I just had to get that out of my system.
I had to do it. Oh my God.
It is obligatory. If you were me, you'd be doing the same shit. So whatever.
Well, this is
you guys had a person that you liked, and you would have been doing what I'm doing right now. So don't be mad at me. Just understand.
A video has been going around on the socials. There's this beautiful video of Ozzy meeting Paul McCartney. Because Ozzy Osbourne always said that the Beatles was the reason he started doing music, right? Because he's that old. And you know, he said his life. I think the way he described it was his life was black and white. When he heard the Beatles, it became color. So this is very influential to him. And there's this great video of him meeting Paul McCartney for the first time, and he reverts from star
to fan.
Rockstar to
fan.
Super fan.
Fan.
And it's beautiful to watch. He's like, it's been an ambition of mine to meet you all my life. You know, and I mean, he's in a position to say something like that, but you know.
There's a lot of love in the chat, but also a few people saying there's big issues going on, and maybe the media have spent too much time this week on Ozzy Osbourne. I don't agree with that.
I don't think so.
No, I think
it's quite.
To be honest with you, it's been doing the show in the morning has been a real struggle for me because I've had to pay much more attention to the news than I'd like to. And this morning I was genuinely looking around for a story that was just a bit more cheerful because you're like, Jesus, everything is so gloomy at the moment. That
are we aware that yet there's another war about to kick off in the world?
I was about to say while we're talking about that, Thailand has attacked.
Thailand, Thailand and Cambodia.
What?
Yes. Yeah.
I'm so over war.
Thailand activates martial law along border with Cambodia.
Not only that.
Is that the most recent move? I'm looking at 4 hours ago. So 4 hours ago, the Thailand Prime Minister was saying we're going to be probably going to war. That's what he was basically saying 4 hours ago.
There's breaking news in the chat as well. Apparently, the orange blancmange has landed in Scotland. So.
Yeah, I know he landed
Oh,
about
yeah.
an hour ago.
Oh, I saw a wicked Facebook picture. Oh, fuck. Something about a warning. It was a newspaper clip saying, warning, a convicted criminal from the U.S. has landed.
That was
Right?
the front page of the National, I think it is.
Something like that, yeah. I was like,
Yeah,
it
no,
made
it's
me
a
laugh.
Scottish
That was
newspaper.
this morning,
Yeah,
though.
yeah.
So,
Yeah.
Oh, fuck.
Ollie, what do
Be
we
on the
know
lookout
about
for
the
pedophiles in their affiliates.
Yeah.
So-
What do we know about the Thailand attack on Cambodia? Is it Thailand
I'm
attacked
trying to find
Cambodia? Is
it.
that the right way around?
Well, they've been doing little skirmishes over the border for the last day and a half, 2 days. I know there's at least 15 or 20 dead, and one of the ads I said there's like 130,000 people fleeing the border area right now.
Wow.
Right?
14 hours
So-
ago, the Independent did a story on whether it was safe to travel to either country, and the Foreign Office issued updated advice.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think it's been coming for a couple of days.
So, but Mikey's reading something from an hour ago that there's been yet another attack.
No, it's saying
So-
that they're instituting martial law along the border.
Yeah. So
This is the kind of thing that's going to happen, isn't it? The
this is the destabilization effect of the U.S. going, I'm eternal now.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I'm not in this. Yeah. Which
So-
frees up anybody that's got a border dispute basically to start
Yep.
lobbing bombs because they're not afraid that America's going to step in and do anything about it anymore. So,
Yeah, because America doesn't
Exactly.
care anymore.
no.
No.
I suppose in
Well, it's I wouldn't
is-
say it's
the cat is
America
away.
doesn't care anymore. The people that got put in charge don't
No,
particularly
yeah, it's
care.
MAGA who doesn't care.
And
Sorry, yeah.
Things
But,
could
you know,
change again in a couple of
unfortunately,
years.
They are a representation of their people.
I watched a TED talk by a Portuguese historian today who was talking about the resonance of what was happening before the Second World War, and the fact that what we call the axis of evil, the Japan, Germany, Italy axis, was nowhere near as bonded and strong in terms of trade and support as the axis of Russia, Iran, China, and to an extent even India. And what he was saying is that, you know, once the bad guys alliance is becoming stronger, and the alliance that's there to defend against that becomes weaker, it's inevitable that there is going to be a global set of wars that take place that are supported by the stronger. He calls them the axis of dictators now, and you know, arguably, which side is Trump on when there's an axis of dictators and a
He
The
does not.
problem is
He does not know that this is happening. He's so dumb. Like as much malaise or malice that people think that he has for a lot of these things, he is just very dumb. He is very stupid. Like he doesn't he has not kept up with politics. But he
you
ran
can't
for
say that
president
about his
anyway. He's
followers.
set. They don't know shit either. They're all stupid,
yeah.
dumb as shit, or
they're
or
all
racist.
that ignorant. It's like
Because you can't actively pick this many wrong options while knowing the facts. Like, you know, like he's worse than random.
Yeah. But it's like the bunker busting bombs on Iran. You know, he literally only backed military action because he thought it could be over in a couple of hours and he'd get a headline the next day. And it's not done the job it was expected to
He
do.
wants the Peace Prize, though. This is all about the Peace Prize, right?
Yeah.
To the tune
I mean,
of
that-
hundreds
that-
of,
All.
hundreds of millions of dollars.
under his leadership, there's going to be more conflicts at borders
Huh.
than we've seen in the last 50 years.
And also, like, by all these tariffs and all this economic stress that we're doing to these developing countries, that is not good for them. That breeds all of this shit. That makes
gonna
people
say,
go after people who are weaker than they would have normally been. Because this
Thailand and
stupid-ass
Cambodia
fucking
are two of the ones that
ChatGPT.
are on the 50% tariffs, aren't they?
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
and that's fucked up because like the only thing we really get from there is like textiles. They do textiles and stuff for us, like clothes sewing. So how the hell are they an economy based on that? How are they supposed to, you know what I mean, compete? And what? Yeah,
Yeah.
we can buy their jets. Like what the the jets that they're producing.
Yeah, well, we're having to buy yours, so which I just fundamentally disagree that we should be spending any money with your country at the moment on that.
Yep. I agree.
That's why I think Europe should have taken Canada's approach. Canada said, "Fuck you back."
Yeah,
And that's what needed to be said. And if everybody would have did the same thing Canada did, Trump would have had to start whistling a different tune.
This weekend
this isn't going to work.
I think at the time I kind of felt that Starmer played pretty much the only card he'd got in soft power to invite Trump over here for a state visit.
Oh yeah, done that.
And now he's here. I'm thinking that was a
They're
big
meeting
fuck
tomorrow.
up, wasn't it? That was a dumb idea, because
They're meeting
we're
tomorrow.
just
In your country.
we're going to look like the suck ups in the world, and
They
Yes.
are now.
it's not the
They're
right
meeting
place
tomorrow.
to be.
They're going to meet
Yeah.
tomorrow. It's
Yeah.
ridiculous.
Yeah, and then he'll be in Windsor Castle prancing around with the king, inspecting soldiers and doing.
Oh,
all the
really?
shit he
He's
does,
getting to go
basically.
there too.
Yep.
Oh, he's been offered a state visit again.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Yeah,
This
no,
is
that
what
was
I'm
the
saying.
card. That's the card. That's what we're talking about.
Charles. what are you doing?
The state. That's
State
what we
visit.
were talking about from before.
Yeah.
Yeah, they should have taken it away from him and said, "Sorry, you're a piece
Yep.
of shit. You don't respect your people." So,
Oh, well,
sorry.
that's what everybody in the country wants him to do, but Starmer's not going to do that.
Well, and the problem you're going to get, I mean, it might do the job with Trump for a few days, mightn't it, being treated like he's a king himself. But what do we do as of Tuesday when Trump goes home and we've got no soft power to play on him again?
Yeah.
He's just going to. If Starmer says anything out of line this weekend, then we're just going to get the tariffs back on Tuesday, aren't we? So
Yeah.
I'm saying y'all should have got on the phone with Canada and
yeah, I agree.
big wigs from the EU and be like, "Yo, I know we're not. I know. So let's get them right." And then shut him down. Like he needs to be contained.
Yep.
And all of this, like, well, I'm gonna look out for the best thing for us. It's like you can't. That's not how beating up a bully works. You got to jump his ass.
There are people in the chat saying the state visit is in September. That'll be the one with the parades, the military shit that he wants to see. So I suppose we've got that bit of soft power. This visit, he's going for dinner.
He just can't come and
You
hang
know
out
the
for a
military
weekend.
parades you guys should be doing right now? You should be doing something similar to what France did and delivering some of your naval might to Canadian harbors and have it just sitting here.
Did France send you ships?
Yeah, we got one of their nuclear subs in Halifax.
See, this is the problem with the alliance. It is that we distrust the French much more than we do the Americans, even with Trump in charge, basically. So it's
You say that now.
I just think France is going. They've got an eye on Canada still. They're a bit bitter about the fact they only got half of it in language terms, basically. So maybe their ships are there to fight us.
Nope.
I
was
think
directly in response to Trump saying what he was saying.
Yeah, I genuinely think the UK, when the monarch of your country is the idiot Charles, then the fact that we are not standing shoulder to shoulder with you on that border is ridiculous. I think.
Yeah.
I think we're quietly doing it and diplomatically doing it, and Charles has laid hints, and Charles came and opened Parliament and all those little tiny things that they do to express their
displeasure.
To the people behind them, so that Trump doesn't notice. But I think Trump needs to fucking notice these things. I think we need to do things that Trump notices.
You need to be obvious about it instead of
what he's doing is wrong. It needs to be it needs to be stopped. And it is a little disconcerting as an American that the rest of the world is not on our side. You know what I mean?
Is it
the normal ones of us? Yeah, it feels like everyone's like because our Congress is capitulating, the Supreme Court has capitulated, and it's just but the world stage is whatever, and it's fuck. All right, guess it's just us then.
Yeah. But I found, was it 2 weeks ago, all those African leaders, when Trump fucked up completely by asking that guy where he got his education from?
Yeah.
From Liberia.
Where did he learn such good English?
But I found, aside from that clip, I found that a cringeworthy meeting. There was all these African leaders, one after the other, just saying, come and build a golf course in our country. We love you. Our capital city would be great for your hotels. Yeah. It's
Hey, they're they're trying to get paid. I ain't mad.
I don't blame them, but the open level of corruption involved in it. Yeah, there's one argument to say here that it's probably better that the corruption is completely transparent nowadays for Trump. It's pretty obvious the price of doing business with America these days is to build a hotel on a golf course, isn't it?
At least it's not going straight up cash straight to Russia. Dump it into Africa. Give them some money.
Yeah. So in the chat, Chris is saying Starmer is spineless. He will happily kneel and kiss the orange one's ring before listening to the mood of the British people, who he should be working for. Quite right.
Yeah.
I think. I think it's going to be an interesting weekend of meetings with him. Starmer's going to be playing that kind of Blair role, isn't it, to George Bush, but on acid now, which is look, I'm trying to stop him having wars. I'm trying to stop him doing worse things.
Yeah, but he didn't do a very good job of that, though, did he?
No, exactly. We all got embroiled for 10 years in that process, didn't we, basically?
Yeah.
So,
I think that's fucked up in the end,
That's the problem with kowtowing. Meanwhile, we're building a military ready to fight Russia, according to the head of our defence forces. That we're trying to buy ourselves 3 years so that we can build up our arms enough to have a European war. And there are rumours that in Estonia there are the little green men that appeared in 2014 in Ukraine. People in military uniforms with no badges have started to appear in Estonia, crossing the border from Russia. Is Russia about to invade a NATO member? Is the next question.
That would be bad. That would be bad because
don't worry, America will do something.
Nothing.
They'll do something in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
2 weeks from now.
We got a beautiful plan. Beautiful plan.
We know exactly.
I got the concepts.
I
have the concepts of 2 weeks.
Darren Distar has given us £20. Thank you very much, Darren. Graham will probably bollock me for not asking for your very kind donations, but Darian, thank you very much for the £20. Much appreciated. We're being invaded by MAGAs this year. Trump in July. Bloody lock up your settees. Vance is coming for his holiday. He's coming to the Cotswolds here in August, and then Trump comes back in September. Yeah, I mean, Darian, I figure it gives us 3 to 6 months for us to plan how we embarrass these people. I think Vance is the one that we should target in the Cotswolds. That's fairly easy.
Dress up like couches.
Yeah, a bunch of people dressed as settees running around villages in the
couches.
Line the streets and couches while he's driving by.
And put lingerie on the cushions.
Yep.
Some moron will have a couch out there. There's no doubt about that. Yeah.
There's a campaign that's now raised. I think it's £30,000 or £40,000 to put posters up all over Scotland this weekend in bus stops and big poster sites, and it's just a picture of Trump with Epstein.
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah.
Which no one is dropping. As much as they keep showing us the 5 or 6 people that have publicly said that we should just drop it. All the polling is saying like 4% of Republicans and 3% of Democrats are like, drop it. Everyone wants to. Now it's too big. Now actually we do need to know.
There was talk today of Trump possibly pardoning Jizzlane Maxwell.
Yeah.
Because he didn't do anything.
I mean, if that would be such a blatant attempt to shut her up. And
that's why he wants to do it, because he has nothing to do with it.
Even the Americans who are dumb will read through that. Sorry. No offense.
Yeah. Well, her brother, Ian Maxwell, came out this week. Ian Maxwell came out this week and said he genuinely fears for her life at the moment. Ian Maxwell, her brother, has come out and said publicly that he fears for her life because the game that's being played around her is dangerous and people have died as a result. And he's basically saying Epstein and and Prince Andrew's victim. Yeah, arguably, basically.
I saw. I think it was like, it must have been CBS or something like that. But a lady was being interviewed. She was one of Jizzlane's victims, And she's like, how are they going to tell me to my face that Epstein didn't do anything?
Yeah.
Mm.
Well, they
Like how
they're
are
doing
y'all
it.
going to tell me, like, where, like, who did we, you know what I'm saying? Why is she in jail then? Who did
I
we
just-
work for then?
my
Yeah,
ADHD is forcing me in a quite a serious moment to point out that Jizzlane is the cue for autographs for the milkman in our WWE scenario. But anyway, I need that little tank running across the screen for that one.
I'll give you something on our side.
No, you're right, because I want to get serious for a moment. I heard some of the testimony from people in Jillane's trial, and there are dozens and dozens of women, young women, who have testified that when they first started working for Epstein and Maxwell at the age of 14, and that not one single massage experience with him didn't involve sexual activity of some sort. And one of them said that I was laid off from my job working for Epstein, and they said, and why was that? And she said, because I got too old at 18. Now, if any of this sticks on Trump, you know,
No, it's not gonna.
He had them recruiting girls out of
in
Mar-a-Lago.
Yeah.
Yo, let them testify. I don't care what Jizzlane has to say. Let her testify. Let her lie on the stand. Nobody gives a fuck. Just get her up there. Let everybody look at her. Make her a real person again. Because when they put her behind this like veneer and she's always in these pictures and she's wearing these like extravagant gowns and all this shit. I just watched some footage of her in prison. Yeah, show that bitch. Show that fucking absolute creature. The absolute creature that she is without all the fucking, you know, upkeep on her plastic surgery so she looks like this fucking, you know, this goddess that hovers on. No, show this nasty bitch and what she fucking did to those girls.
Because she's
for
in
trapping them. And, you know,
she's in
putting them
an
that
open
horrible
prison in
situation.
Florida, isn't she? Is that? Am I right? I mean, she's
Or,
locked
I think
up
she's
all
in New
day,
York,
but
I think.
is it
Or
New
was
York?
he in New York?
I thought she'd been.
Let's see where
He was
she's
in New
locked up.
York. I think she'd been moved to Florida. I thought that's what I read. I don't know.
I don't know.
Somebody in the chat could correct us, or we could find that out. Storyteller, because Storyteller was taken 02. I do love that name. It's such
She's
a
in
good name.
Tallahassee.
Tallahassee, is it?
Yeah.
Ian Maxwell's charity sounds suspect. Yeah, I mean, the Maxwell family are not to be trusted on any of this as a rule. That family stole from their workers over the years, and you know, if we were going to go down the conspiracy routes, then the fact that Robert Maxwell was buried with honours in Israel may or may not suggest that there was a connection to
But we don't even have to
Israeli
be
government.
but we don't even have to be conspiratorial. If we change all the names, you know, and just put the families sitting right next to each other and how everybody's connected, much like my background, it is not even as convoluted as this. It is like a linear path
It's a
of these
straightforward
people
story.
and the crimes that they have committed over the years, and how this motherfucker Trump is in the middle parallel line to all of that shit.
And-
Somehow he knows nothing about who he is. The creep. Oh, I don't know the creep. Oh, her. I wish her well. I mean, I would say something nice about anybody, said the guy who has never said a fucking nice thing in his entire life to a single fucking person.
Ever.
He has never said something nice about anybody. And this lady is fucking in jail, not accused. She is in jail for sex trafficking children. And he said, I wish her well, when he has never said it. Like, Rosie O'Donnell could have fucking pulled 17,000 orphans out of a burning building, and he'd still call her a fat pig. I wish Jizzlane well. Yo.
And the troubles he's going to try and distract everybody, and even insulting his own base, it just suggests to me that there is something in there that he did. You know, I genuinely thought he was just one of the names on the list. He went to the parties. If there were pictures of him at a party where there were 15-year-old girls, that kind of evidence is out there already. You know, that isn't going to be destructive towards him. I think he could survive that. So I think there's something more serious in this evidence.
They said
I'm not
his
sure
name
we're
was
going
in
to
there
see it.
They said his name was in there 14 times in his contact book under
Yeah.
like different pseudonyms.
But he said yesterday that Bill Clinton went to that island 28 times.
Yeah, lock his ass up too.
Yeah, which
Y'all can
how'd
sit
you know
next to each
that?
other.
I thought you didn't have a list. How'd you know that?
Yeah. And I agree.
Yeah,
I think
the
the
evidence
power
is gone.
the power of this story is that anybody that leans completely the opposite way to the Republicans doesn't care about these. If Clinton is in that evidence, if Bill Gates is in that evidence, lock the fuckers up. Basically,
Yep.
they've committed
left
crimes.
is not
They've taken part in a paedophile ring. We don't care.
We are not in your way.
Exactly. Yeah. Lock it all up. It's fine. So it's not. It's become an unpartisan story all of a sudden. In fact, most of the stuff I watch from the States, the left are kind of going, we don't even know why this is a story. It's been around for 10 years. We've known about this for a long time. Why has it suddenly become this big story? We can't really figure it out. So it's not the left pushing it. It's MAGA pushing it.
Yeah.
Well, and the left is, feeding their curiosity. It's like, remember that Epstein thing that you guys were promised?
Yeah.
Isn't it strange how wow, all these details. Wow, the letter. I thought he didn't draw things. He says, and the thing is, like, he's being baited.
Yeah.
Trump is being baited.
By
big
Murdoch.
time. He can't help himself. He can't help himself. He has to fucking put the claim down. He has to clear his name and appear to be this golden, shiny god that descends from above. And this is a smudge, and he can't take it. He's so thin-skinned, he can't take it. And that's why the South Park thing is funny.
Yeah.
Because Epstein's going to be in bed with him next, right? Like, there's no way that's not going to get shoved into every episode. Like, in the corner of the fucking episode, there's going to be just like an Epstein head just sitting there the whole time. Like, it's if you're going to just threaten everybody to take it away, okay. If you're going to take my toys away, I'm going to play with them one more time.
Yep.
You can't fire me. I quit.
Person impersonator says, good point, Scott. How does he know how many times if there are no files? Was he there?
The files that don't exist anymore.
Yeah.
How do you know it's 28 times? That's bullshit. Either it's complete bullshit and he made it up on the spot in front of a plane, in front of reporters, or he knows that for a fact because there's actually files that they will not release because he's on them too.
Well,
there's a number.
Trump's name in the flight logs.
Yeah, number of people in the chat suggesting that Diz, Trip, and Darian all suggesting that it could be about Melania. Because she got an Einstein visa, didn't she? And she was trafficked from Slovenia to Paris and then to America and then got an Einstein visa. And this was before Trump was president and had any political power. So
you think that Melania Trump is possibly a victim of trafficking?
Well, apparently the first time he slept with her was on Epstein's plane. So
the old Lolita Express.
Yeah.
Unreal.
There are logs of Epstein flying in Trump's plane as well, basically. So I wonder if Trump's
damn
plane was
you,
used at any
FAA.
point.
That's why he's defunding the FAA. They keep all these flight logs. It's so annoying.
Vendetta says Ivanka was on the island. Maybe it's about her. Oh, God.
I'm pretty sure that he was on the flight logs.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, no, in the information that's been released, he's definitely on the flight log.
So he's lying. No, sorry. What he's saying is that was fake.
What he's saying to be fair and balanced, Trump's line on this is that he was best friends with him for 15 years until he found out he was a scumbag.
Yeah.
He never said what. He never said why they stopped being friends.
No.
Nobody said this today. Like I know that reason. Epstein's brother said today that Epstein broke their friendship off because Trump was too much of a crook.
Right. Well, there was apparently they both tried to buy a property in Florida. Yeah. And Trump screwed up the property deal basically for Epstein so that he could buy it, and that's what caused the rift. It's got nothing to do with
anything like morally. Yeah, it's all.
You know, and Lutnick is sitting over there cheesing and smiling and clapping like a seal the whole time.
He's in those things too.
He lived literally next door to Epstein.
Yep.
Says he doesn't know him, even though, I mean, those people know their fucking neighbors. And he also just coincidentally bought one of Epstein's Manhattan apartments for $10. But he doesn't know him.
Doesn't have a clue.
Not friends, not close associates, just it was for $10 and then undisclosed whatever. And it's like, oh, yeah. That's what happens
this is
all the time when I buy $1 million places. I just buy it for $10 and then I just give them something unknown later, and then that's cool with the bank.
And I think this is part of what makes why this evidence does need to come out, because it's completely bad enough, and this should be the core of the story, that there were young vulnerable girls who were sexually abused and raped and victimized by these people, and that's your blackmail part of what Epstein did. But the other thing is the financial arrangements that he kept making. There's a lot of people that borrowed money from Epstein, and that was dirty money as well. Prince Andrew famously borrowed a lot of money from Epstein to pay off Fergie's bills, basically. That's how they got entrapped. And you can imagine Epstein's model was just, I entrap them two ways. I get them on the finances, and then I bring them in on the girls, basically, so that they have to keep quiet about where the money's going. Yeah. So I think there's more and more scandals.
He doesn't even have to be he doesn't even have to be like the ultimate villain at the end. You know what I'm saying? He could just be the facilitator. Because it is unbelievable that none of this has been able to get out at all. From administration to administration to administration.
Yeah.
So I think...
again, it does raise a question as to why didn't Biden release the files? If the Democrats played the same game as Trump, they should have put the files out there.
If he's a Mossad agent, and Joe Biden said he would invent it in Israel if there wasn't one, well, there you go. He's doing his duty. Yeah. Let the honey. This is the thing.
It's one of the things I love about conspiracy theories, that they do all this research. They build these big files on their stories. The wall, like your backdrop, Mikey, and they're all online, coming up with these amazing, ridiculous conspiracy theories. And you think, no, there are some fucking conspiracies going on. There's some pretty obvious, blatant ones going on by corporations and rich people and the elite, and they're doing these things. They're definitely doing all the stuff you're kind of suggesting. But you've decided to go down the fact that they're sucking the blood of babies to keep themselves young.
Right. It's actual believable conspiracy theories that could have some shred of actual truth to them. There's Hillary Clinton is abusing children in a pizza shop.
Yeah, exactly. You can, I get it that you can understand that one, but you can't understand the international complexities of finance, basically, that's going on. I get it. But there's some pretty awful fucking things going on, and they're genuine conspiracies. There's a bunch of rich people sitting in a clubhouse smoking cigars, making a plan. That's what's happening,
On the back of a napkin right now, they're deciding our fate.
Yeah. It's fairly certain that.
But there's one thing they didn't plan for.
Is Prince Andrew playing golf with Trump as we speak? It could be possible. That would be the shot to get this weekend.
It's really dark and late.
Well, that's when you do it. If you're a couple of paedophiles on the prowl in Scotland, wouldn't you be doing it in the dark, pretending to play golf by torchlight? That's what you'd be doing.
So what's going to happen out on the golf course when Trump's caddy kicks the ball into the fairway for him and stuff like that?
I found your ball.
Is going to be documented.
What,
I found your ball.
Mikey?
Right here on the
Mikey,
green, sir.
Tell us about the live fact checking that Trump got from the head of the Fed.
It's so funny.
Oh, with Jerome Powell. I only saw like part of the clip of that.
I saw the whole thing.
Yeah.
Basically, he had said he went into this whole spiel about how the Fed are building these buildings and they don't need to be. They've spent 2.9 million or billion or something like that, And the head of the Fed was sitting next to him going, no, we haven't. And he said it. He said, no, that's not right. And Trump goes, nope, that's I've just been told. I have just been told. Here is the receipt, and this is this is it. Just been told that, so you aren't gonna know, are you? So yeah.
And then
the
Jerome
guy
looks at the
read
paper,
it,
reads it. Yeah, actually
reads it, and goes,
yeah.
oh, so you're talking about a building, the other, whatever the name of the building was. You're talking about that building, right? He goes, yep, exactly. He goes, that was finished 5 years ago and was part of a completely different project. Nope, that's not the case at all.
It's all wrapped into
Oh,
one.
no,
Maybe
it is definitely not part of this project.
And then he says, maybe we can take the hats off now. Like typical Trump distraction to go, we're wearing hard hats in a
Something's
building
shiny.
site.
Yeah.
Let's just...
Keys.
You know, it's so obvious. This just is all kind of an intimidation to get
But this
interest
is
rates
the-
down.
Jerome Powell is the guy that last week Trump said, I have no idea what anyone was thinking to appoint this guy as
He
the head of the
appointed
Fed."
him.
And it was him that did it.
He fucking appointed him.
Nothing. And I
I
mean
imagine
nothing
that's
gets
why-
past old Trumpy. He
I
is
imagine
sharp
that's why he
as-
fact-checked him live today, because he's sitting there going, well...
He just
you know,
thought, oh, come on.
unbelievable.
He's
Please,
as
guys,
sharp as
you
a,
gotta be kidding. You know.
sharp
But
as a
yeah,
crayon.
that's basically what happened. He was, you know, I mean, I'm surprised. Trump looked stupid. And the way he was sitting there going, nope, just got told just now. And it's like, you sound so crooked right now. And it was like there were fucking idiots online going, yep, Trump got him. And I was like,
Yeah, of course.
did we watch the same video?
No.
you know, you didn't see for yourself that Trump looked like a fool, like in front of the whole world's press.
Well, talking of making MAGAs look like fools, did anyone see the Jubilee show on YouTube? Mikey, you mentioned it earlier. I think
Yes. I won't watch the whole thing though, because I'm not giving it one of my.
I watched it also. It's 20 MAGAs in a
I can't
circle
watch it all because it'll just
around
infuriate
Mehdi
the shit out of
Hassan.
me.
Well, Mehdi
It's-
Hassan did
yeah.
really well. I
They
thought.
don't, yeah, because
There's-
it wasn't
there's a bit of-
difficult though.
There's
They
a
were
bit of
fucking
shot.
idiots. Huh?
There's a bit of Schadenfreude in there, so you do get to see Mehdi completely pummel these people. Like they are completely outgunned, outmatched, outskilled, outread.
Out-researched.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's-
They're idiots.
they have no chance, and it is very revealing about the kind of, you can kind of tell what's been pumped into their little algorithms because they can't really get off script. There's no real there. They just
They-
know how to say
yeah,
the
they
don't
offensive
know how to
things,
do it, yeah.
but they don't actually know
We have to
the
come back to
history
what
of
I'm
what they
saying.
say.
And they kept saying that. We have to come back to what I'm saying. Let's come back to what I'm saying right now. No, but what I'm saying is this. It's like
Right,
you
right.
have your talking point. It's all you've got. You can't move from that. And if Mahdi moves you from it, you're lost.
They get in the deep water and they don't know what to do. They don't know how to
Well,
think
and
for
then
themselves.
they end up exposing themselves completely.
As
And
racists
like
every time. Yeah.
Connor,
Oh yeah,
Connor, you know,
Proud fascist Connor.
the proud fascist. And it's
I like authoritarianism.
yeah, I want an autocracy.
But then
Yeah,
also
okay.
it was like Mehdi says,
Blasphemy
okay,
shouldn't be
well,
part of freedom of speech.
how do you
know?
get to an autocrat? How do we decide who's going to be the autocrat in
Well,
charge?
we
of
would
this?
vote
Well, we have
for
an
it.
We would
election.
vote for them.
Yeah.
And then we never have another one after that, basically.
Yeah, and then we're just never gonna do it again. Oh my god, you're stupid. You know,
He learned voting from Squid Game.
Yeah, right. You're an absolute fucking idiot. You know,
I thought that
We'll just do this.
and then people
dumbass.
clapping him like he did.
I mean, there was one or two when you watch the whole show. There was one or two of them that actually.
They're like, what the fuck?
Well, they did make some reasoned arguments, even though they were based on their own belief that was, conventionally wrong, and Mehdi proved them wrong. But the thing that really got me, because I've seen an interview with Mehdi before about how he prepares for shows and the amount of research that he does for any given interview that he's going to do. And you got the distinct feeling one of his propositions that they had to challenge was that Trump is a supporter of criminals and criminality. That was Mehdi's statement. And they had to come in and defend Trump against that.
Yeah, Trump is pro-crime.
And you got the distinct feeling that Mehdi Hassan had learnt the names of every single January the 6th conviction and was going to go through all of their cases, basically, because he's going, what about this guy? What about this guy who beat a cop to death? What about this guy who did this? And it was just, they were just bombarded by facts. And half of them, they said, they go, I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I don't believe that's true. I don't believe that happened, basically. And it's,
this is an important lesson in framing. So the thing, the only thing that's good about Mehdi going on there, opposed to somebody else, is he is a proper fucking journalist, and he framed all of his statements are framed in a way to not be able to be twisted. They're well thought out so that it's a strong premise for him to defend. When people just walk around and they kind of, well, I kind of think this and kind of think like, yeah, and this is why you have to, now you're in flat earth territory. You're going to be explaining tides for 45 minutes because you didn't tighten up your premise. He didn't have that problem.
what do we think of the format in general? A lot of people are
I think
slagging
it's
it
a
off.
shit format.
I think anyone for anyone in the chat or the audience that doesn't know, it's a circle of 20 people normally who represent one view, and then one person in the middle who represents the opposite view. There's a kind of ridiculous musical chairs bit to it, which I find really ridiculous because
That's childish.
Yeah, I think it also suppresses female voices to a great extent. I think the men all go and fight for the chair, and the women tend to stay back. But then once you get the chair, there's 20 minutes to discuss any individual subject, and the audience, the circle of fiends in this case, have a red flag. But if they hold up the red flag, and enough of them hold up the red flag, the person arguing with Mehdi is voted off. And it was this sort of complete crossfire because as soon as somebody sat down and started making their point about, just how marvelous Trump is, or how America's a Christian state, or how
Jewish space lasers.
Well, white guys sitting there saying, "I'm a Native American," and Mehdi just going, "Well, you're not. You're just
Literally
not."
not. Well, what about the white people that came here in 1500? It's like, well, what about the ones before that?
Right.
Yeah.
He's like, I don't think you know what indigenous means. He's like, yeah, I do. He's like, okay, what does it mean? That's where we're
idiots.
at. Like
idiots. It's just pure idiots. And it platforms it. And it gives people ideas to go and look up, especially young and impressionable people. So in a way, I don't know. I feel like it was a platform for extremist ideas. Because
I've seen it the other way around, where they stick a MAGA guy in the middle, and there are 20 Democrats around them.
Jordan Peterson.
Yeah. I mean, that was an awful.
He got shredded.
Yeah, he did. He was terrible.
All he could do was argue about the definition of any word that was said to him. Basically, what do you mean genocide?
Yeah.
What do you mean by genocide? Yeah. How many people is a genocide? Maybe we don't have the same definition of genocide.
But that's his snake oil salesman shit that he sells. Like that's his business model. That's what he does. He just gets real
everything.
Yeah, he gets real slippery and wants to use unique one-time use only definitions for things that suit his argument here. But then you remind him about it later, and then he says, "Well, that like the kid jumped his shit immediately." He's like, "I thought you said you were a Christian." Well, I didn't. I never actually said those words. It's like, then what the fuck are we talking about? The whole thing of the show was you're a Christian.
Yeah.
Well, I don't like you right now. Like he got all up in his feelings.
It was horrible. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I think Mehdi did a very good job up against what he was up against. But the disturbing thing for me was that there were, there must have been an awful lot more people to pick from to get to 20 representatives who shared this fascist, authoritarian, racist
I think they
view, and they were all in their 20s. They were all in their 20s.
They picked out the most extreme. I think some of those were actual influencers who do shows on YouTube, like this one, that have actual followings and audiences.
Are you trying to say that I should have been on that panel? Is that
I was about to say what you're trying to say, Scott. You saying we should have been over there? I like
bullshit. Fuck off.
like at some level, I think. Well, I'll say it this way: I'm not in the business model. Like the bin is not in the business of having debates and having the exchanging of ideas between interlocutors. That's not what we do over here. This is our fucking network, and we say what we want to do. We cover the shit we want to cover, and our friends like us, and they come with us on the journey. We're not trying to exchange ideas. That being said, if you're gonna have a shit show, I think it is the two-edged sword, because you are like, more people will see those ideas, but then there's the comment section, and people will see that all of their ideas are getting completely shit on. Under normal circumstances, I think most people would be like, oh, well, maybe I'm wrong about this. They just double down on that shit now. Like, they like being wrong. They think being wrong is like
it's
cool.
Trolling.
It's a badge of honor.
Yeah, it's all
trolling.
everything's a troll now.
Yeah.
Well, and you could see that because
And-
you know there were 7 flavors of racism going on amongst that group towards Mehdi, because I don't think they couldn't really comprehend that he spoke with an English accent, that he was brown, that his parents came from India to England, that he came from England to here, and he was a citizen and had taken the test.
Yeah,
I think
one of the little minds, didn't it? Yeah,
one of the things that I really loved was where he sat there in that group saying, I have a feeling that the majority of the people in this circle would fail that test, which just caused them all to be completely outraged at that point. Sorry,
One
Ollie.
quick thing about what Mikey said there. It's not about that we're not about the exchange of ideas on the bin. It's just that this isn't the platform for it on the bin. We're all about it in other platforms, right? But no, on the bin, we do what we're doing, right? So
it's your position.
Right. So
no, I think a lot of people. I mean, Luke Beasley tried earlier this year. He tried to get a MAGA influencer into his show once a week to have a debate.
Work.
No,
I wonder why not.
can't
Mainly because
find anybody to show up that actually has
Well,
something.
but I think that was-
girl. He had a
Yeah,
girl
they-
that was a regular MAGA influencer.
MAGA mom.
Yeah, and I don't know, like they
Well, her husband kept getting involved and threatening Luke, and
and it got really bad, and they they tried to they probably spent more time talking about the fact that they had differences rather than what those differences were.
But that's the difference between, and that's why Mehdi's episode was so good, is because he took all of that away from them.
Yeah.
Like he stripped all of their bullshit away. Trump is pro-crime. Now disprove, you know what I mean? Disprove me. Like push me off of this ledge. Like if Steven Crowder actually knew how to read, like what his little thingies would be, his little loaded premises. But you can load a premise in a way that forces people to think, which is the actual way to like use the Socratic method, as opposed to just doing this constant Jordan Peterson. I'll just keep switching my definitions around, and that way you'll never catch me.
Then I'm always the opposition. But that was the thing that I think came out of a lot of the people that were trying to debate Mehdi, was that, you know, they were saying, well, you don't understand America. And he's going, well, I'm an American citizen. You know, I live here, basically. So, and I'm a journalist, and I report on America, and I have done for years. So I do understand America, I think.
And
they said, no, you don't understand the division. Yeah. And they said, you don't understand the division. It is a war between Democrats and Republicans. And I just found that, I mean, it's obvious, isn't it? That's what we see. But it is just if a Democrat says it, it must be wrong. If a Republican says it must be wrong. Yeah, there is no debate. There is no exchange of ideas at all. In
perfect example of that is Biden. What was it in 2023? Giving money to Texas, to the floodplains, saying, "Here, set up your early warning system so people can be warned." Absolutely. And they said, "Oh, this money comes from criminal sources. We're not going to spend it on that. We'll spend it on something else. Yeah, but we're not going to spend it on that."
Yeah, because that's what he
wants. What the fuck?
I mean, there's a direct line to those girls dying.
They didn't want the people to know that Biden gave the money to save their lives.
Yeah,
that's what it boils down to.
And the biggest problem, really, looking at American politics from the outside, and I know you guys share this opinion to a great extent, is there's hardly a thin piece of paper to put between the two parties, really. So this, it boils down to things like pro-choice, pro-life type debates and guns. That's about it, really. But in terms of economic policies, in terms of the anti-corruption policies, etc., there's not a lot of difference between the two parties. In this country, there'd be reform fighting the Tories.
They're on
as
pretty
much as
close to the
anything
same
else.
page about guns too.
Yeah,
I don't know. I feel like all of the opposition to those things that they have in common are squelched by the dirty money lobbyist backed people of either side. Like it took like Build Back Better never went through. Why not? What the fuck? Like this is that's a Biden failure. And when Cori Bush from St. Louis, my homegirl, when she brought it up, when they're all sitting in the call and they're all trying to figure out what to do, and she's like, "Well, what about Build Back Better?" And they're like, "Well, that's just not going to be part of it." She's like, "Well, I told my people what we were going to do this, and it just didn't happen. Y'all just figure it out. No infrastructure deals, no all that stuff. Like that money, like it is. Everybody is fucking us. Like we're just getting fucked from every party at this point. And then the parties are all being paid by the same people.
yeah.
As soon as people start to put together that it is these lobbyists and these people that are influencing the politicians, that they can actually control who gets elected. Like that's why Mom Donnie is so great. That's why this works. And unfortunately, because we're at this such late stage of capitalism, it's only after the waterfall, complete collapse of certain sectors and certain areas that people start to see this shit. I mean, I wish they would just read or watch a movie or something and figure this shit out. But
it's also why
the total reset.
The Democrat institution as such is opposed to Mandani and AOC to a great extent, basically, because they don't like the fact that they're funded by people rather than corporations. Nancy Pelosi,
because the answer is
said
to
last
tax
year,
the rich.
Nancy Pelosi said we've got to get these evil corporations out of politics, and they said, well, what about the ones funding the Democrats? And she said, no, they're all right. They're the good guys. You kind of go, well.
Yeah.
If I was on the Republican side of that argument, I'd sit there and go, well, they're either bad or they're not.
Well,
well,
she's not one to talk. I mean, how much is she worth, and what is her occupation?
Exactly.
What has her occupation been for the last 30 years?
And
how do you have so much? How do you
Yeah.
have so much goddamn money, lady?
Yeah.
So like, and that's especially for I'll speak for most millennials. We don't fucking vibe with that shit. Like, you're a public servant. If you want 6 figures, cool. You got to fly back and forth all over the country. That's a pain in the dick. And you're representing people. You got to hold meetings. Fine. Whatever. But we're not about to allow all these fucking politicians to be millionaires and hundreds of millionaires on our dime because you're insider trading, because you're sitting on all the committees and sending it out to your husband, Paul Pelosi. Big
I'll be right back.
Okay. You know, like, it's enough with the bullshit. Enough with the shenanigans.
No one's
buying it
The
anymore.
Death Star is flat. I love that.
Yes.
That is very cool, Ollie.
He always puts that up when he goes.
I kind of love that. The in the chat, just to change the subject, Chris C said, "Did you know that rhubarb is not a fruit? It's a vegetable." I mean, I think that's quite profound, and I think thank you, Chris C, for bringing us the truth tonight.
What's the heaviest fruit?
Don't know.
Pumpkin.
You what?
Oh, it's not a joke. That wasn't a setup for a joke. It's just
No.
It's a fact.
Yeah, pumpkins.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
Pumpkins are fruit. Seeds on
They
the
have
inside.
seeds in them, right? And they have flesh.
Big old fruits.
That used to be a very bad slang term at one point. What my mom used to call homosexuals. Oh yes, darling, he's a bit of a fruit.
Really?
Like,
yes,
like,
my mom used the word fruit. Yeah.
It's so.
Where were you, Scott? Where were you brought up in America? Whereabouts?
Mainly in Cleveland, Ohio.
Okay.
Yeah, I was born in New York, and I lived in San Francisco for a little while when I was a kid. My mom always said though that we were walking through San Francisco, and we saw a guy in a habit, dressed as a nun, and
Like you do.
yeah, in San Francisco, riding a bicycle. I used to call her Sister Mary Boom Boom, apparently. And I said to my mom, Mommy, why is that man wearing a dress? And she went, We're moving. I'm not telling a 4-year-old. I'm not explaining this to a 4-year-old. Not now. So yeah, had that had an effect on me? I don't know. But in all seriousness, we moved to Cleveland when I was about 6 years old. So I was like, that's 10 years there.
And tell me, I don't know.
Formative.
Like most Brits, I don't really. We always complain Americans don't know anything about geography. I don't know Cleveland, Ohio. What define it compared to San Francisco? Is it more of a?
No, it was a steel town.
In the Midwest.
Yeah, sort of on the edge of the Midwest, going east.
So like a northern town here, effectively, like a Sheffield or something like that.
Yes, but American.
Right.
I'm sorry. I know it sounds like a
Sheffield with better breakfasts or something like that.
No, it's
biscuits.
It was a steel town when I was growing up in it. It had a
It's with watered down beer, Mike.
Right.
They had a company called I can't remember the name of the company now. It was a steel company. Once that steel company left Cleveland, the city went into a serious decline. This was after I left.
NAFTA.
And it became just, I think, the second poorest city in the country behind Detroit.
Really?
Yeah. So it had a real slump. I think they've been trying to build it back. But I don't know what they got, like, as far as industry there now. I don't know what it is.
Cleveland's okay.
Huh?
Cleveland's okay. They're not doing terrible, but
It was
they're in the same boat as St. Louis because St. Louis dried up too. Like
Right.
St. Louis was like I think some crazy stupid ass percentage of like all the bricks and all the houses in like the Midwest were like fired in like the brick ovens in St. Louis, and they did steel and shit like that.
Right.
And then all that's because the river was right there. So they could just float.
With us, it was the
Yeah.
lake.
Yeah, and they would just float everything on barges. So they had a booming industry, and then shit just changes.
Yeah.
You know,
Well,
and then cities get left behind.
Yeah. Cleveland was definitely one of those cities. So, but Cleveland was always a little bit of a joke in the 70s and the 80s. If I'm not mistaken, there was the fire on Lake Erie, which I think happened in the sort of late 70s, early 80s or something. We moved there in.
Thank you.
You
got quiet again.
Yeah. We moved there in 83, I think it was. 83, and my mom left in 93.
So. It was a good year.
Mikey, you always been in Chicago, is it?
No, I'm from St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, a much superior city.
Let's do
the gateway to the west.
Let's do a geography explanation for us. St. Louis is further south than Chicago?
Yes,
south?
very Midwest.
Yep. It's almost directly in the middle of a map.
Yeah.
Right, okay. And isn't there another city the other side of the river? Am I thinking of the same?
You're thinking of the in Iowa, like in Iowa and Illinois, they have the Quad Cities, and they have cities on both sides. Right. I mean, we have St.
Louis where the arch is.
Yes.
The Gateway Arch is there.
I've seen it.
It's glorious.
Because one of the foundations of MAGA and to an extent reform in this country, I think, is these left behind towns and cities.
The people are pissed. The people are pissed.
Yeah.
You know, and then when the Democrats have an opportunity to really affect change for those people, and then they kind of like pump fake and like they pretend to do shit, and they only give you like 5% of what they could have been doing. This is how we lose. They think the other guy's going to do 6%. They're going to take us back 50%. And we're going to, you know, it just sets us back further and further and further because they keep buying the fucking lie.
But it's also like regeneration of any city is complicated. If it was built on a steel industry, and because the river was there, you can't turn it into an apple factory overnight and reskill everybody. But what Trump does and what resonates, I think, and what Farage does, because he follows the same line all the time, basically, is, Trump announced a couple of weeks ago, I think, that we're going to bring back coal mining.
Mm-hmm.
And you think, well, what parent is sitting there going, I wish my kid could go and work down the pit? But then you think, well, there are places in Wales where I think there's a generation sitting around going, well, it was all right back in the day when we all had a job in the pit. And these kids now have got nothing to look forward to.
They're not going to go work in the pit.
Those people are not alive. Those hypothetical parents do not exist.
Grandparents,
those people,
maybe.
If their grandparents were in the mines, they have got the black lung and they are already gone. The life expectancy in like West Virginia and like those
but do you think it resonates?
Is very low.
Sure, but do you think it resonates somehow with, like, the family stories, traditions that you heard, basically? There are stories in my family, or there were stories in my first marriage family where they were from Yorkshire, and they had Sunday lunch stories about Grandad sitting there covered in coal eating his Sunday lunch after he got back from a shift, basically. It was like this. And I think that's what Trump appeals to. I think that's what Farage appeals to, is this fake memory that we've all got about how great it all was back in the day.
He plays on this idea of America that is bygone, that didn't really exist.
Yeah.
So he plays on a fantasy or romance, almost, as I would say, almost a televised version of America, Happy Days version of America. That is kind of what he sells to the middle America who've fallen for that. That's why people.
He's part of that story.
Yeah,
he was on Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous all the time with Robin Leach. If these people are in their 50s and 60s, they remember watching that on the weekends and being so impressed with his millions of dollars. I think he's got a
gold
billion
toilet
now.
He has this, he has that. So
he's playing on that nostalgia factor.
Yeah. And he
because he probably did have a Happy Days life. He probably was.
Well, no, because he was too rich to have an Happy Days life. He was already grew up wealthy, but he sells that working class Happy Days life to people who want to bring that back. They see immigration as a affront or a infiltration of that life. So
because I always think that
it's the real basis of conservatism movement.
And I think the difference,
the way of life that we had before.
The fundamental difference between Trump and Farage is that, or Britain and America, is that misty-eyed love for a period in America is the 1950s, isn't it?
Yes.
And in this country,
before the civil rights.
In this country, it's the war. Farage is selling the Second World War to us on a constant basis. We go back to, because our peak,
even though it was an absolutely miserable time,
fucking abysmal time.
Yeah, it was horrible. There were food shortages. None of the men were around.
Except recently, I've been reading
being bombed.
I was reading a book about what it was like to live in London during the Blitz, and in the run-up to D-Day, where it's full of Americans and Canadians and African soldiers and Indian soldiers, and the parties were fucking awesome by the sounds of it, because people were literally going, this could well be the last party I ever go to.
Yeah,
so
this party could have a bomb land right on it.
Yeah, the guy I'm dancing with could easily be dead tomorrow, basically. Yeah. So
that's why there's a lot of milkmen's children out there.
It's wild time.
Syphilis ran rampant.
Yeah, probably. But
and also, one of the things we never talk about is that there was a huge amount of looting went on during the Blitz. We always say it was these stoic working class people going,
they rebuilt their communities. They didn't leave. Yeah, they did.
They were climbing through their neighbours' houses, nicking the sideboard. Basically.
Yeah, right. And not trying to be funny, like my grandma. This is a true story. My grandma was in the East End during the Blitz, and she had apparently the story because my grandfather was fighting the war, and she was pregnant with my mom. So a bomb landed where the crib was.
Wow.
Yeah, in the building. So my grandma was on the first fucking bus to Devon,
Right.
where they weren't bombing, right? So, this whole we stayed during the war, East End, blah 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 blah. No, people got the fuck out of there. They got the
Because
fuck
they
out
could.
of there when things got a little too close to home.
Wouldn't you
So,
just? But I saw it reminds me of a friend of mine.
It's a
who,
fantasy.
yeah, a friend of mine from.
It's a fantasized
But-
version of it.
Exactly, because we have this impression like
You're selling a TV show.
I have a friend who lived in Kiev during the invasion, and I had to get her out. I had to persuade her to actually leave Kiev in the end, and with a lot of arguments, with her thinking that she might be safe, and then getting her out. But then subsequently, her ex-husband was remained in Ukraine because men couldn't leave.
Yeah.
Still can't leave. And I said to her, well, how's he making a living? Because in my head, everybody was in a trench or a bunker being bombed constantly, right? Like the Blitz films that you see. And she said, oh, no, he's a tennis coach. Basically.
They're still living their lives.
He's earning a living as a tennis coach, basically.
But see, you forget
well,
that
of course
modern-
he is, because people still want to play bloody tennis, basically.
Well, no, because
Of course,
in the modern era, it's going to be completely different from how life was in the 1940s, right?
Yeah.
So the war in the modern era is probably very, very different. So,
I imagine maybe
it's
not
nothing I want to
so much.
experience.
I
Huh?
imagine maybe not so much. I mean, they do, potentially more brutal, but I don't know. The despite the number of bombs that Russia's been dropping, I still don't think it equates to what we dropped on Germany
Right.
during the
Or
Second
what
World
Germany
War.
probably dropped on us.
Well, they were less successful than us in the end.
Yeah.
Bomber Harris was more responsive. We wrote the history of the Second World War. Bomber Harris, if he'd been a Nazi, would have been one of the worst characters in history ever, basically, because he destroyed entire cities.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is Nigel is selling the fantasy of the good old fashioned. I used to be able to leave my door open, no crime. There were no darkies, no Irish, no what, blah blah blah. There was none. There was, people looked after each other, blah blah blah. It's a fantasy. It doesn't that time does not exist anymore. There is nothing that either Trump or Farage can do to really make that
Bring it
happen.
back.
It will never come back again. But people vote.
And sadly,
and until those people die,
yeah,
which some of them soon, most of them soon will. The idea is going to be around
then you look at
they
that.
die off.
You do look at that Jubilee format, and there is a younger generation with the same ideas.
There's
and
a younger
that's what
generation
bothers me.
who do not have any life experience whatsoever, who are going to understand that is not the way forward in life, right?
Yeah, you'd hope.
Well, yes, I do, because we have just too much information out there now.
Yeah,
I mean, people
Yeah,
can live in their
eventually.
echo chambers, but
No, eventually you'd hope it turns around. Basically.
yes, because that's what sort of happens, right? It's the right wing younger people end up mellowing out, and the really far left younger people end up being more conservative as they get older.
Once they get a house, once they get a mortgage, normally.
So maybe it could be a lot.
I've seen some wonderful left-wing young people suddenly flip over into Thatcherism, basically at the point that they get their first
because
mortgage.
they were going to lose their house and my mortgage is going to go up. Yeah,
exactly.
So again, we're selling a fantasy. They're selling a fantasy to older people who vote.
Ollie, is that how it played out in the last election with you guys? Was the Trump guy, was he selling a sort of perfect Canada? What was Canada's perfect period that they would hark back to?
It wasn't that. He wasn't trying to sell that. It's just everybody knew that he was in bed with a lot of Trump's ideas.
Right.
So we just, no, we don't even want to take a chance on that. Especially when Trump started coming out with the 51st state bullshit, because then right away we saw that candidate is saying, okay, sure, well, let's make a deal. That's what everybody was thinking.
He would have instantly sold you down the river, yeah.
Right, that's it. Everybody thought,
yeah.
All right, no, he's Maple MAGA, right? So he would have sold us right out to him.
There's a problem, and we discussed it earlier about the.
He didn't even win his seat, right, when he was running for election. He didn't even win his seat.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
how
That's
much he
fucked up.
lost popularity.
Yeah.
Right now, he's still trying to talk somebody else in his party to give him a seat.
Really.
So, yeah,
That's a very
that way he
Farage
can.
trick.
He's not allowed to speak in Parliament unless he gets a seat, right?
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So,
this is what's happening here is kind of similar. We've got Farage, who is literally stealing, ripping ideas off from Trump, blatantly. Literally said this week he wants to send immigrants to prisons in El Salvador.
Criminals. He said
Literally said
British criminals.
Even
he
British
wants to say.
criminals, right?
Yeah.
Literally said
Wow.
that. So, it's stolen. He's literally reading what Trump is doing and he's saying it to his base.
Yeah.
Who are stupid. So they think that might actually be a good idea. Right? But there's a disconnect because these English people are not seeing that it's the same as Trump. You ask those same English people if they like Trump, I think most of them would say no.
Yeah.
mm,
Yeah.
So it's kind of weird. They would say, no, I don't like Trump, but you like Nigel Farage, who's stealing his policies. He's literally coming out with the same policies Trump.
Well, it's
came
because
out
it's
with.
nationalism, isn't it? And I think you've got to be
Yeah.
English. You've got to be an Englishman, i.e. Farage, and what they see as.
Yeah.
I don't know what they see him as. Some sort of gentleman. I don't know.
These are bootlickers. A lot of them are very much, you try to tell them, well, Nigel Farage is a multimillionaire who's literally running a company rather than a political party. He's lining his pockets with membership fees. So I would honestly, have a think about what you're doing there. Because if you're a working class person, this is the last person you want to represent you because they do not actually have your best interest at heart. But they will make up excuses for it.
Strong leaders. Well, because the problem they're being sold in both America and here is that don't worry about the inflation, don't worry about the cost of living, don't worry about the fact that food seems to have skyrocketed in prices and you can't afford a holiday anymore. It's immigrants. That's the problem.
Yeah.
You
So
know,
that's how you win them.
And in
that's
fact,
the problem.
any of those problems are all related to immigrants.
Well, that's what they did, and then
And
now
I'm the
we
only
have this-
strong man that can get rid of the immigrants.
Yeah.
That's
Now
their-
they have a
that's their
horrible.
pitch,
There's a
isn't it?
horrible thing going on
Yeah.
in America with that, and on the other side, he's giving loads of tax breaks to extremely rich people and taking away benefits.
Yeah.
The worst part is that they're not seeing on that side is the people that he's punishing and getting rid of
Mm-hmm.
are the people that are feeding them.
Yeah.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
They're the ones that are going to work in the fields for a lot of these farmers and stuff like that. So there's going to be a lot,
he's
much more
deluded
expense
and
than
thinks
that.
Americans will take those jobs, and they won't.
Yeah.
They won't
Because it doesn't pay enough.
No.
Because the Americans
That's the same.
think they're above
exactly
that
the same
grade.
thing here. It's exactly the same thing here.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's all because minimum wage is so low, and they're just not. What's the word I'm looking for? They're not managed by government. Like there's no oversight to really control them. Right? They can get away with just hiring people under the table and paying them shit wages.
Yeah.
Right. So
Which is what Trump's done for years.
Yeah.
all his life,
all the time.
if he pays them at all.
So,
But that sort of problem is happening here. There's this idea that we get rid of the immigrants and those will be more jobs for English people. Well, I'm not trying to be funny, but
no.
let's see what those English people are doing right now. They're outside of hotels, protesting asylum seekers staying in hotels
In the middle of the week.
in the middle of the fucking week.
Yeah.
What are you doing? I'm here to protect my kids. Why don't you go spend some time with your fucking kids instead of being stood out here protesting?
Don't you think turning your fucking community into a bunch of angry bloody men prancing up and down looking for a fight is
a blood-baying mob?
Yeah. This is not doing your kids any good at all.
Yeah,
basically.
it's terrible. So and you ask them, you say to them, will you go pick fruit and vegetables? Will you go? Will you clean those offices? They won't do it in a million fucking years.
I'm going to read out.
I'm not doing that.
One angry pagan said in the chat that I'm actually still hopeful that real improvements are coming from this government, and I'm going to reserve judgment until I've seen all their policies being put forward through Parliament
Okay.
and into action. There is good stuff coming. I tend to agree with that. And yet, this week, the Labour Party put out a proposal from the Home Office saying that you can report your delivery driver if you think he's living in an immigrant hotel.
Did you hear that one?
Now, I don't know what it's like around you, Scott, but like every single restaurant, I live right in the middle of the city in Brighton, and I'm surrounded by restaurants of all sorts, from McDonald's over there to high-class restaurants over here. I have a great choice on
Don't
delivery.
dox yourself.
I know that's not normal. Well, people know where I live.
Everybody knows he lives in Brighton.
But I would say that there are always 10 to 15 delivery drivers outside any of those popular restaurants every day, all day. Everybody's getting their food delivered by them, and this government is saying
they wouldn't
to
do
these
it if
these
they
people
weren't
that
getting paid.
yeah.
But then there's ridiculous stories coming out, like by the asylum seeker makes £6,000 a month doing Uber Eats. I'm like, there's no possible
there's no way that you can do that. And
make
also,
that sort of money.
if you got rid of all of those people, what would happen is you wouldn't be able to have food delivered anymore, because there are no English kids queuing up for those jobs. Basically,
No,
it's just not happening. You know,
they don't want to do it.
Of course
No.
they don't, and their parents don't want them to do that job either. Basically, it's like, it's crazy.
This is
anybody
not
could
to
see it
get not
that
to get
way.
chicken and egg about it. If someone already has a job, how can someone steal it from you?
Yeah.
Ollie?
Well, there was a great post on Instagram today that said if as Trump says all of the immigrants are criminals, rapists, and murderers, then exactly which job is it you're doing that they're coming to steal?
Yeah.
You have to be one of those three things, basically. So. Maybe it's Trump is worried about his own job as a criminal rapist.
Maybe.
All deflection. Yeah, I'm gonna get a drink. I'll be right back.
Yeah, little mama woke up. Nap
man.
over.
What time is it there?
Merv. I got 10 to 8.
5 to 6.
5 to 8, yeah. A couple of weeks ago, Oliver was on here doing up figures. I found this one just recently.
Oh, wow.
It's pretty blurry.
Did you paint that?
I didn't. No, a friend painted that for me.
Oh, a minotaur.
Yeah.
There we go.
My son
did a really good job of it.
My eldest son runs a games company, and in his office in Madrid, there is a room just full of those, and landscapes, dioramas, board game. They're absolutely beautiful. They're all painted in house by.
Damn thing's heavy. That's a lead one.
team.
That thing's heavy.
Yeah. Well, they go and work in the office, and I just go and hang out with my grandson in that room, basically, just looking at everything. And my son keeps coming in and saying, they're not toys he can't play with because he's only 3 years old. And I'm going, no, but I can. It's fine for me. The ones on the upper shelves, I'm all right to play with. So. But it is quite an incredible art, and an art form that I think is undervalued to an extent. They're amazing sculptures and paintings. Right, guys, I reckon we are at 5 to midnight, and we don't need to drag this on into the late night. Thank you, everybody in the chat, for your contributions, particularly the fruit-based ones. We've definitely defined rhubarb as a vegetable, not a fruit.
Yep.
So at least
and tomatoes are fruits, not a vegetable.
And the wrestling ones.
Tomatoes are fruits, not a vegetable, right? So
and we know what the heaviest fruit is as well, which is
it
pumpkin?
Pumpkin?
It's a pumpkin.
I don't know about that. I guess it's squash in general.
If we open this debate up, we'll be here all night. So I think we should.
They do some mutated things with pumpkins in the States, though, right?
Yeah, no, they grow them in the world record pumpkins always come from those bastard cheaters, Alaska, who has 6 months of daytime, and then they get the most enormous pumpkin possible. They're cheating.
This is what
ridiculous.
This is where a civil war will start. obviously.
A normal
Go back to
pumpkin
Russia,
growth
you
wouldn't be
cheaters.
the biggest fruit. That's all I'm saying is normal pumpkin growth.
You know who the
wouldn't be
biggest fruit
biggest
here
fruit.
is?
Scott,
Me.
it's
There you
you.
go.
The milkman.
Well, we
milkman.
learned some stuff tonight about we're not going to start our own party. We're not going to get
Scott's
Scott
never
to
gonna become a
start his
wrestler.
wrestling career, unfortunately, even though
not
we've done all of his PR work for him, all of his branding.
My branding's done, but it'll never happen.
Next
Feel
week,
free
the
to
action
steal it.
figure will be available to purchase on.
I would
Graham's
love to
website.
be an action figure. My 50th birthday is
go.
coming up next year. Do that for me.
That's-
Make me an action
Somebody
figure.
with a
that's-
3D
you
printer,
should-
get on that.
That
I was
that
about
is
to say you
something
could get a
now.
Funko Pop.
You can upload some pictures of yourself and have one.
How
delivered
cool would that
3
be to
days
make your
later.
own Funko
You can make
Pop?
your own, I think. There's companies
you?
that you can like make your own like little chibi animation of yourself and then make your
Yeah.
own Funko Pop.
Yeah,
That's hysterical. I had no idea.
the world is changing. 3D color printing.
Oh, can you
which
become a Labubu?
I was looking at a 3D
what?
color printer the other day, and I've got a 3D printer upstairs that I've put into a cupboard because I gave up with the mess that it kept making. But I was eyeing this 3D color printer today and thinking, how could I, what do I need to sell? Could I sell one of my children to buy that? And unfortunately, I don't think they're
I
valuable
saw somebody
enough,
with a 3D
so-
color printer print off the perfect Iron Man mask.
I know.
Ooh.
They are
Yeah.
incredible.
You know what I'd
They
make with a
really
3D
Yeah.
printer?
No, we don't.
Another 3D
that-
printer.
Yeah,
Is it-
just keep
yeah,
that for your
Typical
OnlyFans,
Scott.
are. I don't know, Scott, but maybe I'm just going to cut the stream at this point, basically.
You know what I'd make. I'd make
I
a
wanna-
replica of my.
Hey, there is a place in Brighton that does that. There's
I've
an
always
industrial
wanted to do
unit
that.
over in Port Slade, and I walked past it during COVID. I used to walk past it, and they do body casts, knob casts, breast casts, and buttock brass.
Only a
casts.
gay man would want to know what it feels like to get fucked by their own cock.
All right, that's it. All right.
And on that- on that
yeah,
thought,
we've reached it.
All right.
Jeez.
I want to
Have a
thank.
wonderful weekend, everybody.
I really want to thank you
Time
guys
to
for
put
turning
the
up
brakes
tonight.
on this.
I really appreciate it. Scott, I know you're officially a British person these days, basically, but I want to thank North America for providing the three of you tonight. Thank you very much for turning up. And thank you,
Africa.
everyone in the chat. And thank you, Graham, for letting us run your channel for a while. And
Woot, woot.
sorry, Ollie?
I'm playing buttons.
I just said woot woot. Nothing.
Whoop,
Woot, woot.
whoop.
All right, guys.
What was
thanks
that,
very much.
Ollie?
I will see you on Monday for Morning Brew on Monday morning. Oh, look, one last minute. Darian, thank you very much for the £10, the last minute £10, just to prove that Politics Social can raise money without Graham. Yeah, that's
Look at that.
my target. My target is to generate money while he's asleep, basically. It'll be the first time in about 10 years for him. So thank you very much for that, Darian. Very much
That is
appreciated.
everyone. That is literally everybody's ambition in this world. Make money while you're sleeping.
It's always been my rule in life is try and come up with things that make money while I'm sleeping, basically.
Yeah.
And I keep failing at that because, look, it's midnight and we're on YouTube earning money for Graham instead.
Yeah,
basically.
nah.
So,
Who is we?
Yeah.
at midnight for us, you guys, it's just mid-afternoon. Anyway, thanks, everyone.
I'm going to go have supper and then have a marathon fucking session of Baldur's Gate 3. I'm thinking.
Hell yeah.
Sounds great.
That sounds perfect. All right,
Night
I am going to
plan.
wrap us up, guys. Thank you very much and see you all on Monday.
Toodles.
Wait.